How about that for a crescendo? I'm running a separate live stream over at YouTube, and it's kind of cool if you want to come in and chat. We have other chat options for our show tonight. I'm David Sponheim, everybody. Welcome to America's Third Party. Keep America great. Thank you. And if you want more chat options, click on this link. We are allowing chat in our other room, too. If you're having problems getting into this chat room, which we have been censored in the past, feel free to go over there right now. Thank you. And I want to Twitter that. So I'm going to put that out there. This is going to be a regular thing for us, so we kind of get a routine going. And we want people to go into our chat room at YouTube, which will help us grow in many, many ways. Okay, we got a lot of things happening tonight. We're going to be talking about the dangers of nuclear weapons. How real is the danger of radiation? Because obviously we've got higher levels of radiation across the country, 200 times higher in every city in America. We'll be talking about the future of a ground war with Hillary or Donald, and how I will not engage in a ground war in the Middle East. I promise you that. We will engage in a subtraction of troops from the Middle East, and it's something that I think we should follow up on, a commitment that Obama has been trying to do in Afghanistan and has not done. And it's partly due to the fact that we seem to be profiting from the opium. The CIA collects money from the opium in Afghanistan, and that's something we never hear about in the mainstream media. So there's a lot of reasons to come in here and talk about politics on a Saturday. The anti-war rally focuses on the possibility that we are being lied to. False flags are engaging the American people, pushing them to the idea of gun control, which they don't really want to do. 2/3 of us don't want gun control. I don't want gun control. And then there's also this threat of some terror group like ISIS that's being played in the media constantly. And if we look at all these events as false flags, we are getting more and more concerned that if this is true, that they're lying to us about a lot of these events. This is the ultimate screw job on the American mind. And it would put us deeper and deeper into deeper wars, which will only trigger more hostility with countries like Russia and China. All right, let me see what I can do here. I'm inspired to do some posting on Twitter because Twitter is kind of a dying network. I don't know if you're aware that they're having some problems generating capital, but people still use it. But it's just a kind of upsets me that we've never really had a lot of growth on Twitter. And we found out that we were being censored there too. Turns out that In-Q-Tel, the people that are investing heavily in Pokemon Go, has also invested heavily in Twitter, Google, and Facebook. This is a shell corporation for DARPA, the defense industry giant that is out there putting out social engineering tools to control our brains. So we're not exactly free and clear of the mind control. Hi, Scissor Fight. Scissor Fight went over there. Hi. Thank you. I'm going to separate those screens, I think. Kind of shrink the chat room a little bit. Message sent. Error. What? Oh, wow. That's weird. We'll have to troubleshoot that. It didn't get through. Twitter millions use it, but they are not daft enough to follow Dave. Yeah. I don't know. Twitter's struggling. It definitely has some issues. Well, that is a really disturbing fact that I couldn't even chat in my own chat room. But I can monitor your chat. So if whatever you say in there, I'll see. Okay. The same that gives you those creepy robots on 4 legs, DARPA. Yeah, that's the place. Boston Dynamics is selling out to another concern. They're trying to, I think they're selling out to Google. So Google is also developing defense robots. Interesting, huh? And it's also interesting to note that Eric Schmidt, the former CEO of Google, is now a DoD worker. He works for the Department of Defense, which is very interesting. So you can see that the collaboration is very real. Was it ever discussed with the American people that Google would be using, or DARPA would be using In-Q-Tel to buy Google and Facebook and Pokemon Go? Did they ever discuss this with the American people? No. 582 says the Vaughn servers are not full, that you got in without a glitch. And hello, David, from the Philippines. We watch you every day. Wow. Cool. You get to see a lot of new ideas like our Savonius windmill. We featured that the other day. This is on electric poles, and it could very well power up a lot of our grid here in the U.S., and we could export these once we mass produce them to other countries. They could put them up in their towns, in their areas. We could sell more products. You see, our government hasn't been focusing on building up our infrastructure. They've been focusing on giving money to big military contractors, and they like their money, and they don't want to lose their money. They rely on their money. It's very important to them. These military contractors like Lockheed Martin, Boeing, Bechtel, Halliburton, KBR, XE, former Blackwater, Northrop, Grumman, the whole thing, the Hughes, I mean everything. It's all just one big suck sound. And literally half the excess money that our country spends is going into the military. We spend more on the military than all the countries combined. No, I don't have a solar at my house. I really did not invest yet. I'm waiting for solar to get more efficient. It's right now no more than 20% efficient. Most panels, Morphous panels that I want to use, are 18% efficient. The future solar panels will be 85% efficient. But I'm working on small solar projects. I've got water pumps going. I've got a pond. I've got a windmill, backup windmill that I can use in the event of a complete power outage. I've got backup batteries. I've got inverters. And I've got regulators and controllers and a lot of different electrical things you need to direct current when you are making your own energy. I don't want to spend a lot of money. Right now, solar panels would cost me $25,000 for my rooftop. These are the kind of things that the defense industry could get involved in, because it's very important to have solar energy, even in remote areas. So, in fact, the Defense Department in America is working on some pretty good and amazing things. The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers is working on a panel that can roll out, and I'm going to show it to you. Roll out the panel. This is the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers and what they can do. They can roll these things out from a big, huge bin, delivered. So you can imagine how they could put it on your rooftop. Once we get these things going out at $1 a watt, we'll be perfectly fine. So the future really could be all about energy solutions, green, clean technologies, instead of fighting war. It's kind of amazing how stupid the American people's priorities are. All right. Iceland is watching too. Excellent. So something like this, as your president, I will activate the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers to create these things and mass produce them. And we will be hiring people, contracted workers, to do this. Second of all, we could actually use you locally to install these, and we'll be training you in local community colleges in a 6-week program to put up solar panels on rooftops. And gradually you'll see windmills going up on telephone poles. You'll see solar panels going up on rooftops. And you'll begin to realize that this country has a tremendous amount of potential that it's not tapping into. We will see legalization of marijuana in my presidency right away. Well, legalize it. And we will move toward a growing economy, much like the economies in Washington, Oregon, California, New York are all growing because of legal marijuana now. Washington just reached a threshold, $1 billion worth of marijuana sold since they started. So we're seeing some major tax revenue coming from that. That's helpful. Good evening. We don't hear anymore. You don't hear anything. People want to be better than other people, but we've seen our government give away jobs. Nobody in Obama's or George W. Bush's administration has made high priority to create American jobs. The job czar that Barack Obama appointed, Jeffrey Immelt, the CEO of GE, he's done more outsourcing than insourcing. He dropped 25,000 jobs one year and hired 25,000 New Delhi workers at General Electric. I know a lot of you don't like Clinton or Trump. I don't blame you. Thank you, Filipino people, for coming in. We've really appreciated your support since the war. And, I live in a Filipino community. Proportionally, there's more Filipinos in our area than anywhere else in the Washington State area, I think. And I think it's great. Your history of involvement with American defense has been very noteworthy and appreciated. And I got to tell you, our relationship with Japan is really, really strong, and we need to keep that strength. Make it very much a flexible relationship so we can help them. Now, somebody said recently that they felt that the Fukushima disaster was not America's problem. I disagree. I think the Pacific Ocean is everybody's problem. So I got to ask you to at least listen to the possibilities of fixing Fukushima, because I would love to bring in new ideas, but just not at this moment. I've got a video where I talk about it and give you a little tour of what we want to do in Japan. I'll play it later. Nope, didn't get punched. I actually I woke up late. I don't have any concern for people hating people. I don't live in a world where I worry about people hating everyone. If I lived in a world where I worried about people hating me, I wouldn't even wake up in the morning. Yeah, we don't have to agree on every issue, Bowie. The DNC leak and the filth and the emails, Riot Guy, is the tip of the iceberg. We know how corrupt the DNC is. We've seen this time and time again. It doesn't go away. Because the two-party system won't correct itself and won't do any self-checking, we're stuck with having to build a third party. Believe me, I was trying 10 years ago to go to the meetings at the Democratic local community, and I was told to shut up. I was told to absolutely shut up when I said I didn't want to ratify the war in Iraq and I didn't support the woman who was running for Senate. They told me to shut up. That's not democracy. The Democrats are the least democratic people out there. Thank you for writing me in. I appreciate that. My concern is that the Democrats are absolutely the party of division. And I think the Republicans are too, now with Donald Trump, the most divisive political candidate in history. I think they've become both parties have become completely incapable of actually self-correcting. That's why we need a third party. I'm never haggard. You gotta understand, I do a 5-hour show every day except for Sunday. We take the day off. But I got to tell you, this is a nonstop effort that doesn't in any way faze me. I don't know if you've ever done something every day for 5 hours a day, like a job, where you get bummed out, you're looking at the clock, it's like, I got to get hang out at the water bottle, and you try to kill time. I don't kill time. Time flies with this. So I enjoy it, and that's why I do it. We don't go out and eat GMO pizza in McDonald's, no. Well, 5 hours of communication is just what I'm giving you on a daily basis to give you that precedent that many people don't realize you need from the president. I'm setting a precedent of transparency so that I can communicate like this in the White House for 1 hour and it won't be a big deal. I do wash my press-on veneers, yes. I take a toothbrush and rinse them out under the water. In a little while, I'll probably take a break and change my part in my hair to prove to people I'm not wearing a wig. I do that. I switch sides. I do a little hair thing. Because a lot of people accuse me of wearing a wig, and it's kind of a pointless waste of time to discuss things like that. Larry, thank you so much for coming in. Sarah is a big part of the show. She gives me a break. She also changes the tempo, and she's got a lot of supporters here. Yeah, I know that you were upset when I banned you last time, Larry. And well, I have pulled my hair. People don't seem to get it when I do this. They don't believe I'm wearing my real hair. You like the troglodytes? Yeah. Exactly. I don't want to talk about my hair. That's why I've opened up another channel called daveshair.com, in which I talk about my hair incessantly for those who want to watch. I'm kidding. It's a joke. Okay, so we were talking earlier about Galen Windsor, a guy who worked in the nuclear industry. And we were playing part of his video. He grabs some chunks of depleted uranium and puts it in his mouth. This is very disturbing for most people who think that radiated material is dangerous. But what if I told you that Galen Windsor was, he's no longer living now, but he was the preeminent authority on radiation for years. And he was pissed off that they set the radiation levels so high that it has to be, or rather so low, that if you get near any radiation, you had to go ahead and rinse off. He was upset about that. He used to swim in the plutonium spent fuel pools at the Hanford Nuclear Waste Repository in Washington State, where he ended up his last years and went to retirement. But he lived to be 88 years old. He finally got leukemia. But he contended that, he did die, but he lived to be 88 years old. You got to at least admit that.
Radioactivity. Do I qualify as a controlled drain?
He just stuck the radiation material in his mouth. Now, don't do this at home, please. But no, he didn't die from radiation poisoning. That was his point. And when he had this incredible problem, it was perceived by the Nuclear Regulatory Commission that he was a whack job. He was almost 70 in that video, sticking radiated material in his mouth. I know, Larry. Mark's done more than that, Larry. Mark's censored our show. It caps out at about 100 people, and then he toggles us down to 70. And he keeps people from Asia and other countries from getting in here by putting up this VIP capacitor thing on the servers that access those countries. It's ridiculous. He's using software that censors our show. We're waiting for the blogtv.ca to open up. Well, we've been doing a lot of testing for radiation. Our history in America is all about testing for radiation. So you would think that with all these potential bombs that could go off, there would be some concern by our government to not piss off other countries' superpowers with all these potential weapons. And there doesn't seem to be that concern among the Barack Obama cabinet. He pissed off Putin, called him a jackass. He doesn't seem to understand that these types of things could lead to nuclear mutually assured destruction. Prevents that, of course, us having weapons, them having weapons, etc. But I'm trying to figure out why our country has been pushing for a war in Syria. Clearly a mistake to press on a former satellite nation of the former USSR. Soviet Union. A big mistake, considering Russia and Putin have a very strong nationalistic sense, and they don't want to see the former satellite nations taken over by our country. Yeah, really. Well, wouldn't you rather be flying a Blue Angel? Like a Blue Angel jet here? Check this out. Wow, look at how close that got. Yeah, that's about how close they fly near my house. They really don't care about who they fly near. That's one thing about the Defense Department that seems to be out of touch with reality. I don't pay anything to stream on here at 739. That's why I fight to stream on here. We've had a free broadcast. We offer free entertainment and rich internet media for people. And we use the free internet to remain a political viable entity. If I had paid for all of this time, for all these years to reach people, I wouldn't possibly be able to do this. I would have been bankrupt. We didn't get enough donations to finance paying for any of this. Yes, and there's a reason why we've been at war over the years. And that reason has become almost thank you. It's a wake-up call when people like General Wesley Clark, former presidential candidate, speaking out on it. I think this is one of the best clips I've ever seen. It's from Democracy Now! And listen to what he said as to why we are still fighting wars.
About 10 days after 9/11, I went through the Pentagon and I saw Secretary Rumsfeld and Deputy Secretary Wolfowitz. I went downstairs just to say hello to some of the people on the Joint Staff. About 10 days after 9/11, I went through the Pentagon and I saw Secretary Rumsfeld and Deputy Secretary Wolfowitz. I went downstairs just to say hello to some of the people on the Joint Staff who used to work for me. And one of the generals called me in. He said, "Sir, you got to come in. You got to come in and talk to me a second." I said, "Well, you're too busy." He said, "No." He says, "We've made the decision. We're going to war with Iraq." This was on or about the 20th of September. I said, "We're going to war with Iraq. Why?" He said, "I don't know." He said, "I guess they don't know what else to do." So I said, "Well, did they find some information connecting Saddam to Al-Qaeda?" He said, No. He says, "There's nothing new that way. They just made the decision to go to war with Iraq." He said, "I guess it's like we don't know what to do about terrorists, but we've got a good military and we can take down governments." And he said, "I guess if the only tool you have is a hammer, every problem has to look like a nail." So I came back to see him a few weeks later, and by that time we were bombing in Afghanistan. I said, "Are we still going to war with Iraq?" And he said, "Oh, it's worse than that." He said, he reached over on his desk, he picked up a piece of paper, he said, I just got this down from upstairs," meaning the Secretary of Defense's office today, and he said, "This is a memo that describes how we're going to take out 7 countries in 5 years, starting with Iraq and then Syria, Lebanon, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, and finishing off Iran." The truth is about the Middle East is, had there been no oil there, it would be like Africa. Nobody is threatening to intervene in Africa. The problem is the opposite. We keep asking for people to intervene and stop it. And there's no question that the presence of petroleum throughout the region has sparked great power involvement. Whether that was the specific motivation for the coup or not, I can't tell you, but there's always been this attitude that somehow we could intervene and use force in the region.
Okay, there you have it. Great interview. Thanks for reminding me to have that. Yep. I have been encountering more flyovers than ever before. Our country is preparing for something. In the Washington State area where I live, in the area of the Naval Air Station, Whidbey Naval Air Station it's called, named after a guy named Captain Whidbey. Anyway, I moved up here 20 years ago, and we actually got brochures from our realtor that said we're in the no-fly zone. And what's one of the reasons why we said, oh, okay, yeah, I don't mind being around jets. We're in the no-fly zone. I'll give you the name. Hang on. Whidbey. Anyway, it's one of the largest islands in the country, next to Long Island, New York. Whidbey Island. Yeah, and the lady said I was in the no-fly zone. Well, I called the Navy a few years ago when the flying started getting intense. And like 2007, I called them, actually, many years ago. And they told me that there is no-fly zone, that they had lied to me. In fact, there's a woman trying to sue all the realtors in the area, a class action suit over this statement that was made to us. Even got Xeroxes of the no-fly zone. We even have proof that they did this. Anyway, long story short, they're doing what is called the pivot to China, which is simply a preparation for some engagement with China. Now, as you know, Southeast China is very much of a hot spot, and they're building a base out in the middle of the ocean, China is, which they have a right to do. And we seem to be constantly reacting to China as if China is this big threat. We have over 60 nuclear subs, China's 2. We have positions all around the world that would make any country, including a superpower, fear us. It's not like we have to build up more jets that fly and use energy and waste lots of fuel, especially in an age when China has weapons missiles that can go Mach 10. So a lot of our foreign policy is just repeat contract work put out by Lockheed Martin, Boeing, and others. The repeat contract work is because we've got ingrained bureaucracy in our military. And as Commander-in-Chief with a different perspective, I want to move more toward drone technology, and of course more toward disposable drone technology, which makes us even more feared because we're willing to lose aircraft and still have potential striking force. It's like a breakaway army that doesn't get hurt. But China's got this very, very potentially devastating missile capability. But we also have laser development going on, like this high energy laser rocket. This is a Lockheed Martin tool that came out in 2013 that looks very promising. And I don't know if you guys remember Ronald Reagan and the Star Wars Defense Initiative. If we have a safety net of laser defense tools that'll take out our enemy. This is exactly what this is. So you've got high technology that is being put to play. Look at that. Just look at that. Boom. Slow motion rocket engagement. Target intercepted. Target destroyed. Yes, disposable technology, drone technology is too expensive right now. We need to make it much more cost efficient to make disposable drone technology. We need to be able to lose layers of defenses in case of an engagement with a foreign enemy. But lasers can definitely deal with potential for an anti-ballistic missile replacement. It can go in many different directions, this technology. And it's relatively inert. It's not going to create a problem if we laser something out of the sky. But that's the only defense we have against a supersonic missile that China is developing. Their missile can go at Mach 10, which is very disturbing. Now, many years ago, one of the big speakers and creators of the nuclear defenses that we have, his name was, well, let me just play the video for you.
We knew the world would not be the same. Few people laughed. Few people cried. Most people were silent. I remembered the line from the Hindu scripture, the Bhagavad Gita. Vishnu is trying to persuade the prince that he should do his duty, and to impress him takes on his multi-armed form and says, "Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds." I suppose we all thought that one way or another.
Now, Robert Oppenheimer actually was, he's not from the Twilight Zone. You're trampling through another dimension. The dimension of Robert Oppenheimer. No, actually, he was a man who actually touched me. Yeah, he put his hand upon me. I was in my mother's womb when she was working in space industry. She did a lot of the executive secretary work, typing plans for the Saturn, Gemini, and Apollo programs. And she was the only woman in a building, and he walked in and he saw that she was pregnant with me. And he walked up to her and he said, "Could I touch you to see if your baby kicks?" And I knocked him off his feet. No, I'm just kidding. He apparently put his hand on my mother's belly. That's what she told me when I was growing up. Anyway, that's kind of a side note. What I am concerned about is what did Robert Oppenheimer know that he was threatening to leave the program, the Manhattan Project? We'll never know. We'll never find out because the military got to him, and according to him in his book, he actually was threatened. He couldn't reveal any information. It was a top secret event, and he couldn't obviously reveal information. But if he had information that was top secret and he did reveal, or could have revealed, it would have been perhaps devastating to our ability to stop the Japanese in their tracks from attacking us further or from engaging in more war with America. So many people think that the justification for Hiroshima and Nagasaki and the work that Oppenheimer did was a self-sealed prophecy. It ended the war. It sealed the deal. Hirohito did not want to pursue any more, Emperor Hirohito did not want to pursue any more war against America after that second bomb was dropped. So regardless of what he knew and what he didn't know and what he was telling the world and the terrible monkey he had on his back, I'm here to tell you that we have a hope to neutralize the threat of nuclear devastation. Still, I believe it. Even though the time clock is now at 3 minutes to the top of the hour, our country could very well work out significant progress with nuclear non-proliferation with countries like Russia and China and Iran, obviously. One of the things that I want to do is present the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty to Israel and ask them to sign it. And when we see that, then we can move on, because I do believe that Israel has nuclear weapons. If they don't sign this treaty, the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty, technically we can't give them any foreign aid. Now, right now, Obama's upped the amount of aid to Israel to $7 billion, way more than we ever should have given them in the first place. And a lot of people are saying, why are we being led around by these Zionists? You know, I respect Israel as a nation, but in no way do I want to have Israel have global world power and take over other nations and use America to defend them in the Middle East. We will give them tactical support if they're ever attacked, but I would never assist Israel in attacking Iran. Yeah, so you're finding out a lot of good things about me, huh? You're beginning to understand why I am who I am. Now, a lot of this will be in my book, of course, my autobiography, but it really, it makes me wonder, what can we do to minimize the threat of nuclear war? And I came up with a very simple plan that I orchestrated when we built this party. This is part of my plan. But it's also a simple plan to create food and water on the earth and minimize the threat of potential war. I believe that by creating fresh water and more of it, we can actually become food producers all across the globe. Countries can be much more effective at creating food, and it'll lead to prosperity. And that prosperity in every country that's involved, whoever is making food for their own people, like, for instance, there's a hot spot in Gaza Strip right now. Palestinians don't really have any good water. This would be a perfect place for an ocean pipeline. So I believe that water equals food, equals prosperity, equals peace. And I run this on our anti-war rally because it's a pretty important reality that throughout history this has been the case.
Yeah, people are fed and they have enough food to eat and enough water to drink. They're gonna be prosperous, and they're not going to need to go to war with anyone.
Yeah, it's simple logic, really, what I'm talking about.
You can change it to not scrolling, I guess.
Yeah.
That might help with the
Definitely, yeah, thank you. Now, we've got people over in YouTube, but we had a problem over there. I had a message error. It says message not sent. I said hello to Scissorfight. Oh, and see? Some sort of a weird error. So we could refresh the screen. Should I just...
Yeah, try that. Yeah. Sure.
Let me hit the refresh screen button on that. We have a backup chat room we've constructed over at YouTube.
Hello, Monkey Times.
Hot energy, yeah. So anyway, that's the sum total of our world peace plan. It's super simple and easy to understand, and we're not trying to push some major global new world order plan where the global world government and the UN takes over. I support a treaty to non-proliferate. I support minimizing our threat ratio with other countries. I want to downsize a lot of our nuclear defense industry so that we don't keep creating spent fuel rods that sit in swimming pools that are wasting away and possibly dirty bomb targets. Where a lot of different things have to change in the way we do military defense. But like I said, a disposable UAV and unmanned vehicle ground force as well, that we could lose and wouldn't be a major loss when these things get taken down and shot, destroyed. It wouldn't be the end of the world. Bringing a Predator back, a $10 million item purchased by Raytheon with your tax dollars, is priority number one because it's so expensive. But if it was a $100,000 vehicle that delivered a payload, it would not be a big deal to lose it. It is a big deal, but not a big deal. All right. Thank you so much for coming in.
Your portion of the fish stick. So
super. Thank you.
I'll do my potatoes later. So
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
I haven't rolled my eyes in a number of years, as far as I know. I've really tried to avoid the eye roll. But I don't think I've done that for a while. A number of years. I stopped doing that. Yes, that's okay. When people don't get along, just ignore them in a chat room. What's up, Monkey Times? Hello, Bowie. Just, you guys do that because Dave is not looking directly at me or looking at my picture of me. He's looking at whatever, the chat and himself, and no, I don't do it. Hello, 451. How are you guys? The eye roll, like, so that's the eye roll, which I don't do. Very often, anyway. Alright. The eye roll. Like that. Alright. That's good, 710. Thank you. Alright, let's pull this apart. Dave is left-handed and I'm right-handed, which is kind of nice because sometimes when we there we go, it works now. When we're like eating or something like that, it's good. We don't bump elbows, but then it can be, sometimes it's an issue because he always puts this mouse on the left hand and I always move it to the right, so we're always grabbing for the mouse. And we had this, it's set up where we could each have a mouse, but I guess the one I was using wasn't doing well or something. This is a better mouse. I need to go get another Logitech mouse. Thank you. All right. What? Ugh, Monkey Times. I'm sure David will ban you when he comes back in the room. Hey, 879, don't threaten to kill anyone, thank you. I'll purge your message. Yeah, it's not nice at all. Did the other person say something like that? David does seem relaxed tonight. I'm a dear woman. Yes, I know they do say lefties are smarter than righties. So I looked high and low and then I found a left-handed person. At least maybe just men, that's true. Well, Monkey Times, they say there's more presidents that are left-handed too. I can be somewhat ambidextrous. I can write a note with my left hand. I can. I used to try to be ambidextrous. Maybe that's what I should do. I should practice moving this mouse with my left hand. That will work. Just to stay in the practice of it. Alright, sounds good. Alright, streaming to YouTube, Fawn, Battlecam, good. I will never kill anyone. You say, Sarah, you won't make it to Washington. You have to be a killer like Hillary. I think I can make it in Washington just fine because I'm a breath of fresh air. I'm a totally different type of person. People will be like, wow, you really can do it without hurting anyone. It's amazing. That's just how I am. Okay. Interesting, Monkey Times. Well, I know a lot of people don't know me. Okay. Tim Kaine spoke Spanish in Miami. You feel like you're in school because I treat everyone like they're in school all the time. Hi, Sunstar. I just put it in a ponytail and then poofed it up. Oh, you play organ and piano. Yeah, you do have to kind of be ambidextrous to do that. I taught myself how to play the keyboard at one time. I played it for about 3 or 4 months. And then I haven't. Okay, so the Munich officials say the gunman acted like quote unquote a deranged person, but had no ties to terror groups. Wow. Evacuations are ordered down in Santa Clarita. 11,000 acre bushfire. Wow. Playing the pianos is relaxing when you're drunk. I don't really know. I don't scold David. Maybe you'll have to ask David if he's ever felt like I scolded him. I don't think so. ISIS has taken claim for an explosion that happened in Afghanistan. That's pretty cool, Sagami. Yeah, I would never. I agree with that statement. Monkey times. It's not good to drink too much. I don't actually, but I don't drink. I don't need to. I don't really think a lot about him, Bowie. Oh, that's what David's Insidious, David. Insidious.
What did it do?
No, sorry, Insidious.
Insidious, right.
We're just finishing up a conversation. My parents and I had I was talking about Trump. Trump is scary and insidious. Not really, Fortuate. He always claims he wants to see bodies or something like that, but I would rather not. Come on. What's up? Let's keep it trucking. There we go. Yeah, well, guests are open. Everybody can say hello to Monkey Times. That's good. Lady Gaga was engaged, but she broke off her engagement to Taylor Kinney. Wow. She says she hopes their separation is temporary. I guess she didn't break it off. Maybe he did. If she wants the separation to be temporary. All right. Yes. Thank you. I know. Yes, I know. Insidious. I had just forgotten that word for a while. But I'm glad I remembered it. You want me to clear something off the screen? I can clear it. Like that. How about that? I just want to... Let's see. Top stories. see what's happening here. You're welcome. There we go. Media lies can be insidious, true. Bernie Sanders' campaign manager said his team was disappointed by the emails from the DNC leaked through WikiLeaks, which seemed to reveal staff in the party working to support Hillary Clinton. Ooh, snap. We are doing a real campaign, 428. Why doesn't the other people host a show? Why are the other candidates for office not hosting a show? They should. Talking directly to the people. What do you mean, organize? All right. Okay. Organize with real people. I am. Aren't you a real person? Are you saying you're not a real person? I am organizing with you right now. Well, if people want a third party, they will come. Wow, that's pretty amazing dancing. How they do that, that's pretty amazing, Scissor Fight. You're not doing anything? Well, do you want me to tell you what to do? Will that be helpful for you? I can tell you what to do. Maybe that's what you need. Well, perhaps people don't know how to donate. Do you guys need to know how to donate to David's campaign? If you're interested, I do encourage you all to donate, whether it be your time or financially. Tell others what to do and get them to do it. Get them to do it. All right, 535, I want you to go and post this link to our chat room on news agencies, on all the political news articles. Well, then why are you here, 428? You definitely have other things to do with your time. Okay. That's what I would say. I mean, I understand what you're saying, but I'm here. You're just killing time. You're not doing what I want you to do. I suppose that's your choice, but you're here, so that's a good thing. Oh, thank you, Chaotic, Kendra Brown, and Elephant Lives Matter for following me. Let me just check this. All right, good. Well, yes, I do need true believers. I agree with you. And why is that for 6-8? We definitely have a plan for the country. Another month, 790. I will say I've been really enjoying what we've been doing. So that's very good. And here I'll plan for the campaign is to go out and get on the ballot, to get people to the plan for the campaign is to get people to write in his name for president. Secondly is to get David on the ballot, and to get David on the ballot we have to go out and collect signatures. Well, I'll ask you, what are you doing to promote David? Maybe I should be writing to the producers of Star Trek. Well, thank you. Thanks, ATP number 1. Yeah, well, exactly. ATP number 1 could go out and get signatures. Let's see if I can post on here. Here, I'll put a comment, and 0 comments. So let's put a comment in here. Just waiting for this to load. Well, fantastic, 428. Thank you. So if you support David, you can go and get things done as well. Let's see. It was what? Well, thank you for your opinion. Let's go with this one, I suppose. What? David believes that the chemtrail videos will open up the belief for other people to believe that chemtrails are real. All right. Okay, let me All right, here, posting is Sarah Hart. The majority of Americans are in the political center, yet they do not know they might not know there is a political party that represents their interests. America's third party supports David Sponheim. for president. He chats with the American people almost every night. There. All right. Wow, name calling doesn't really get you far. Yeah. I have to have real people, like ones I can call. Well, I'm not in favor, 902, I'm not in favor of giving Israel more money. I'll say that. So I think that Israel is an ally of ours, and of course we support them militarily. We will in the future, but we don't need to be sending lots of money to to Israel. Well, whose fault is that, 428? I mean, if you want David to be on the ballot, you would get David on the ballot. So it's up to you to put forward the effort. I think I'll go to elections there. Yeah, I think well, this is a start. What? Forever, 535. That's what it's going to take until there's an actual change in the laws. We'll continue this indefinitely. Well, I would say it's up to individuals. Yes. Why am I upsetting you? Maybe somebody else is upsetting you. Thank you, 689. All right. Good. Breathe in, breathe out. Things will get easier. Life is pretty good. That's what I will say. Life is pretty good. Yeah, it will take the public catching up to David's ideas, and I think they can catch up to it. Okay. What do you mean the ballot lunacy? Well, people can definitely get their own webcasts if they so choose. It's up to the people to call. The first lady is not an actual legal name at all. 254, it was a name that was created by the American people. Okay. No, it's up. Well, it's up to the American people. They didn't. It was just the president's wife was the American people started with the term the first lady. Good evening, Jackson. Welcome. All right. Okay, here we are. I'll just reply to this person. If you are the perfect Yes, I have a green screen of the Oval Office behind me. No. Well, there's a lot that we want to do for the future of America. You worry about me? Should I worry about you? I'm not, though. I think the First Lady or the Vice President can accomplish a lot in our country. Well, I think that anybody putting one type of person above another, or I understand the whole perspective of Black Lives Matter. They're trying to bring about awareness to police brutality and things of that nature, but I think that I think focusing on one racial issue rather than, trying to help the police in general is definitely a problem. No, I did not see Hillary's seizure video. I do have a voice. I think I should read up on the 2 women who started Black Lives Matter. All right. Yeah, maybe. All right. Okay. All right. All right. There's a lot that David has to offer. Let's get back to politics and back to the future of our country. This is definitely I think we're at a tipping point in our country where we don't really have candidates that the primary 2 party candidates, American people do not really want them. They would rather have someone different, and that's why one of the reasons that David is running for president. I think that we can give a lot back to our communities and build up areas, but not just give people housing, do handouts, even though David we want to reform our welfare system so that we give money only to U.S. citizens. And we want to build up neighborhoods with our homestead renewal plan, where people invest their own sweat equity into building up homes. Very quick, all right. Thank you. Oh. Whoa. That's live video? Whoa. Well, you know, Hillary Clinton did have that brain surgery, so it's not. Thank you very much, Segami. I guess maybe you guys should see that Hillary Clinton seizure video. I think it's not surprising considering that she had brain surgery before as well. Which is kind of scary, of course. So another reason that we should vote for David for president. The CCTV of the Nice truck attack, they've requested to remove it, but it has not. There was a request to destroy it, but last I read yesterday, they said they're not going to destroy it unless there's some change in the last day. This definitely looks. Well, let me go back. Yeah. She looks like she could not control that. That was not someone making fun of something. Something definitely happened there with Hillary. Yeah. All right. I think that yeah, it's definitely surprising that she didn't fall down with a seizure like that. Since Hillary is uncomfortable with human contact, that does look like a synaptic breakdown for sure. And which would not be surprising considering her brain surgery that she had. She was making a point that the phone was stuck in her face. That just does not seem like the case at all. I'm sure David will be playing this video for you indefinitely. Oh, you think it's an interdimensional being? Possibly. She tried to blame it on iced tea. I guess there's certain things that she shouldn't be drinking. Yeah, if you want to pull in an unedited video. That was, the beginning was unedited. You want to go from... I'll think about it, David Nation. No? If someone stuck a phone in my face, I'd say, hello? Can I help you? I guess you really want to talk to me? Yes, it is scary that she's on medication to control seizures and yet is running for president. Go ahead, 927. Okay, you say, why do the Democrats want to give everything away for free except, well, 468, did you give me a different link? To an unedited video? Except government issued photo identification. Government issued photo something. I suppose that the government issued photo identification, probably the federal government wants to give many things away for free, and the state government wants to make money off of the photo identification. So if you could convince the federal government to pay the states for the photo identification, or had a federal identification, which they don't usually do, they just do a state one. That's why, basically, because it's two different governments.
Yeah, we have duplicitous governments throughout our nation, which is very costly. You know, and I'm going to ask the states to.
So Hillary had a seizure.
Yes, she did. We saw her the other night. Did you put it on the screen?
Yeah, was that the same one, probably?
Yeah.
Okay.
She had a seizure, and she tried to laugh it off. Folks, Hillary's not well, and either that or her computer module is malfunctioning, one or the other.
Yeah, could be either. Okay.
So I switched sides on my hair so you can see that I'm not wearing a wig.
Okay, nice.
I'm proving to people that it's the real deal. So yeah, I don't want to make fun of her.
That's true. I would need to hear the audio to see if she was.
Yeah, let's do the audio. You want to just play it one more time?
No, it doesn't have audio in this one, does it? I don't know.
Oh,
Maybe
well,
it does.
let's take a look. There's numerous cases. I've got the actual photograph, and I could actually repeat it over and over again.
Well, that's.
Yeah, I think she may have very well had a seizure. Yeah, it looks like I cut my hair, doesn't it? Yeah. Anyway, I don't want to make fun of the woman. At the same time, I don't think she's capable of running the country in that condition. Now, in case you didn't know, Joe Biden had 3 embolisms in his head prior to becoming vice president of the United States.
Wow.
And the government kept it to kind of a minimum.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you what we made for dinner, and I'll tell you more about it. Thank you, Sarah, for giving me a big break. That was awesome. Sarah was kind enough to give me that extra time I needed to take care of some chores around the house. Thank you. You can finish everything in there. We made fish sticks from the East Coast. I found a company that makes the fish on the East Coast from East Coast Fish, which was great. And we had those are so easy. You just throw them in the toaster oven, and they're ready to eat. And then, of course, I made boiled potatoes, actually Bliss. I call them Rosemary Bliss potatoes. They're just baked potatoes that I pulled the skins off of, and I added rosemary and steam them. And then I mixed vegetables, like I put Brussels sprouts and peas in with them, and it actually was a really nice little medley. Cops use faulty test kits to incite fear about THC, and water supply scientists say it's impossible. Wow. So this story is being propagated by a BS cop team, much like the false flag team of Orlando and the San Bernardino false flag team and the Umpqua Community College false flag team, and let's not forget the false flag team in Sandy Hook. That's a big one. Yeah, so crisis actors are in abundance now, making good money on GoFundMe pages. Apparently cops are deciding they're going to take this issue to the point where they come up with faulty test kits to incite fear about THC in water. Scientists say it's impossible. Wow. That's a little better. I was getting dark there. Like everything was getting kind of dark in my complexion. So I'm talking to two people now. Hi, Scissor Fight. So if you have any chat problems tonight in our show, and we generally don't have a really big show necessarily, our Saturday night shows tend to be fewer people, you can always go to our link. Here. So more chat options, everyone. Okay, incredible photos of the weirdest ways illegal immigrants have tried to sneak across the U.S. border. Wow. Okay, you found this Japanese Pacific Fish Company shipped overnight. Wow. And you want to eat irradiated food? That's important to you. Great. Most bizarre. Yeah, I don't want to make a big issue right now of the Hillary thing. We usually do that in the evening. I mean, it's pretty obvious she's incapable of running the country right now. But more importantly, we don't want Donald to get any ground here, so you have to keep pushing for a third party because he will take advantage of any weakness that Hillary has. Microwave food is not as dangerous as you may think. It does kill some of the antioxidant capability. Vitamins are depleted when you microwave your food. It's better to steam it on the stove and keep the cover on. Okay, here it is, the most bizarre ways they come over the border. Wow, bigger than life ways that you'd never think. Packed side by side in a trunk. This is how desperate people are to come into our country. People are getting their money stolen in Oklahoma. I heard about that. A new electronic device for civil forfeiture. Yes, thank you, Ann. Okay, I'll get to that in a second. Let's look at this. Hiding in the engine, packed side by side in the trunk, and even
So if you guys don't think that we live in a...
even stitched inside a seat. Incredible photos of the weird ways illegal immigrants have tried to sneak across the U.S. border. Stitched into the inside of the seat. One immigrant famously sewed himself into the side of the seat. Donald Trump has vowed to build a big, beautiful, powerful wall. Yeah, well, I don't think stealing my idea was appropriate. We have a 1,000-mile fence, but yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I guess one of those agents got in there. The infamous 2006 a man discovered sewn into the upholstery. Oh, that was him. Hola. Zip me up. I'm ready to go. The leaked emails about Bernie are indicative of the Democratic National Party putting essentially corruption way ahead of decency. Bernie already sued them for a lack of access to the emails, which indicates a very serious amount of corruption. So this is just further verification of the corruption in the Democratic Party. All right, time length, people in Oklahoma, let's see.
police state tyranny. I'm not sure if you're aware of it, but there is a law that allows the government and law enforcement to steal your money, your property, legally before you're ever convicted, before any type of due process, before you see a judge, even before you're arrested. So let's take a look at this little video here, and then we'll talk about it a little bit more here.
All right, check it out.
The Oklahoma Highway Patrol has a new high-tech device it says will help curb drug money laundering and identity theft. But opponents say the device violates constitutional rights and can be abused by law enforcement. News 9's Aaron Brilbeck joins us live with this story. Aaron.
Yeah, you may have heard of civil asset forfeiture. That's where police can seize your property and cash without first proving that you committed a crime, without a warrant, and without arresting you, as long as they suspect that property was used in a crime. Now, the Oklahoma Highway Patrol has a device that also allows them to seize money in your bank account or on prepaid cards. It's called an ERAD, Electronic Recovery and Access to Data Machine, and state police began using 16 of them last month. Here's how it works. If a trooper suspects you may have money tied to some type of a crime, the Highway Patrol can scan any cards you have and seize the money.
We're going to look for different factors in the way that you're acting. We're going to look for different, if there's a difference in your story, if there's some way that we can prove that you're basically falsifying information to us. about your business.
Trooper.
Okay, so listen to what he said. We're gonna try to find a discrepancy in your story. We're gonna try to find something, and that's exactly what they do. There's actually another story that was similar to this. It was before these little e-readers they've got here, but a guy was crossing state lines to purchase a car. He had a few $1,000 on him. He was gonna go pay for the car cash, and pulled him over, stole his money. Took him 6 months fighting in court to get his personal property back, and he lost. He lost because he couldn't prove with sufficient evidence that he was actually going to buy the car. I mean, how do you prove it? You know what I mean? Like, oh, here's an ad on Craigslist. I was going to go buy this car. I mean, how do you actually prove that? It's just so ridiculous that our justice system is so flipped on its head, and people don't think twice about it, until it happens to them. People, if it stops crime and it prevents crime, people just go right along with it. But no, this is police state. We have due process in this country that has just been completely disrespected, completely thrown out the window, and people just go along with it until it happens to them. So let's watch.
Insist this isn't just about seizing cash.
And I know that a lot of people are just going to focus on the seizing money. That's a very small thing that's happening right now. The largest part that we have found, the biggest benefit, has been the identity theft.
As for any money seized,
if you can prove that you have a legitimate reason to have that money, it will be given back to you. And we've done that in the past.
Senator Kyle Loveless says that removes due process.
So check that out. So you get pulled over by one of these scumbag highway patrol officers, okay? And they pull you over and they take their money. Well, you might...
Drug money laundering and identity.
That's right. Let's go. Yeah, come on. Yo, don't go. Let's Stop resisting! Stop resisting! Step back! Step back! Step back! Stay right here. I'm done! Police officer, get down on the ground! Down on the ground! Down on the ground! I'm gonna hit my man. Stop resisting! Stop resisting! On your back! On your back! Get on! Then do it! Just stay there! Thank you, Anthony. Thank you. Stop resisting, mama. You shit on my front. Give me the other arm. I've got everything. I've got everything. Don't worry. You threw your cell phone on the ground. Give me that arm. You don't have my arm, you fucking idiot. Yeah, it's a fat fucking retard. Give me the arm. Stop resisting, guys. I'm not. Is she conscious, you stupid fuck? She has emphysema, my fucking cancer. You fucking dumb cunt.
All right, let me just summate what happened there. A takedown, they had to grab, the cops knocked the woman out, okay? Then they tried to delete video evidence. We're seeing unbelievable mistakes among our law enforcement, so I want to reform law enforcement big time. And what better time to talk about than today's anti-war rally. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to a peace-loving nation where we want to seek peace, not enforce hate and abusive behavior like we're currently getting from our current police departments. And that's why the number of people are being killed is increased. Over 170 cops have died in the line of duty. That would go down with sensitivity training. They wouldn't put themselves out there to get their head blown off. And then people wouldn't be running around, doing things that would make cops super pissed off. And then cops have behaved terribly brutally. There's been no response from Barack Obama. He's the worst president I've ever seen in our history. He sets no precedent for law enforcement. So without good leadership, our law enforcement instead of a police force, we have a police farce. So that's my biggest concern. Reforming it, making sure. William Wallace, hello. Hello, William. Hello, William. Okay. Then they tried to delete video evidence. We're seeing unbelievable mistakes among our law enforcement. So So I just listened to myself just now. Hi. And why can't I chat here? Hi, there we go. It's a weird place, the YouTube chat room. It's very sterile and austere. It's just got Wallace. William Wallace is in there, and Scissor Fight was in there. It's a quiet place, folks. If you want to access this, more chat options over there. And I'll bring you the link. Okay, let me read chat and get into the conversation here. Californians for Sponheim. Hey, right on. I was a Californian for about 35 years. I grew up in Los Angeles, California, the city. My name's David. I'm not a cop. I'm calling for law enforcement to be reformed, not anarchy. Far from it. Nobody barred me from City Hall. I don't go back because I can't stand the people over there. Why are we following Stephen Molyneux, the shill named Stephen Molyneux again? Thanks for giving me an update. But I don't really need to listen to somebody spout off and philosterbate without supporting a political movement. Until I get an endorsement from Stephen Molyneux, I'm sorry, I don't have any good things to talk about. He's coming into the category of almost a screaming liberal. I'm beginning to think that many of them don't understand that the liberals themselves are being played. Agenda 21, Agenda 2030, the UN takeover of our nation, the assimilation of our nation by UN forces. Liberals are like, well, I don't know. They wouldn't do that, would they? Huh? Excuse me? Time to stop philosterbating, you bag. I miss you in West LA, believe me. You guys are wonderful. If you're the guy I think in West LA, I know who you are. You're one of my oldest, bestest friends. How you doing, Jeffrey? How's it going? You caught me on TV, I see. That's great. I knew a guy in West LA, Jeffrey. He was a former pilot in Vietnam, or he worked in the Air Force, I should say. And he was stationed in Turkey. He never got to Vietnam. You are Jeffrey too? Hi, Jeffrey. So you're all Jeffreys. He was a great guy, but had been suffering from PTSD his entire life and had problems in his marriage. Had a beautiful child. Good people. Hi, nice to see you, Jeff. You're out there. You're in there swinging. Keep up the good work, man. Okay, so let's see what we got here. Outrage as farmer corrupted Google. Pharma corrupted. It's like the farmers corrupted it. Pharma corrupted Google censors Alzheimer's Prevention Summit claiming disease is not preventable. The big pharma corrupted Google censors Alzheimer's Prevention Summit claiming that the disease is not preventable. Complexity in the world of trying to navigate all the censorship that's out there against anyone speaking out against vaccines. You can see how difficult it is to phrase something like that to get people to understand we're being censored, all of us talking about anything dangerous the government's not doing to stop what they're doing. Yeah, Jeffrey. You're good? Thanks. Good. Excellent. Now, if you can tell me what kind of vehicle you drove when you got out of Turkey, when you arrived in the States, I'll believe you're Jeffrey. But until then, the magic password is not out there. Okay. The vehicle I met you in, Jeffrey. Just say that and I'll know it's you. What kind of a vehicle was it? Okay, when you watch Vaughn Live TP chat, I feel anxious. Really? I'm so sorry. Let me calm you down. The liberals are the LGBT group? No, we have LGBT supporters here. We have a lot of homosexuals that like this show, believe it or not. No, you are incorrect, sir. Not an Aston Martin. You do not qualify as Jeffrey. I would play Mr. Rogers, have you? But I'm not allowed to play anything that is monetized. And it would be probably a violation. Somebody would say it's just not right that I play it. And then they'd monetize me and I know. But I have other music you can play that's cheery. I got Funky Time. Would you like to hear Funky Time? Boo Boo Kaka? We don't do that. Yeah. Funky Time is a really kind of kickback. Fun, but not too heavy. Good for anti-war rally. Good for anti-war rally. It's funky time. Last night was Funky Friday. We did an amazing tribute to Jim Morrison, playing all the impersonators. Jimmy Fallon. You know, Come On Baby Light My Fire, that guy. Jimmy Fallon, I think, did the best Jim Morrison. Okay, we touched on Robert Oppenheimer, and he touched on me. That's right, he actually touched my mother's stomach when I was in her womb. I wasn't given any help whatsoever.
Theft, but opponents say the device violates constitutional rights and can be abused by law enforcement. News 9's Aaron Brubeck joins us live with this story. Aaron.
Yeah, you may have heard of civil asset forfeiture. That's where police can seize your property and cash without first proving that you committed a crime, without a warrant, and without arresting you, as long as they suspect that property was used in a crime. Now, the Oklahoma Highway Patrol has a device that also allows them to seize money in your bank account or on prepaid cards. It's called an ERAD, Electronic Recovery and Access to Data Machine, and state police began using 16 of them last month. Here's how it works. If a trooper suspects you may have money tied to some type of a crime, the Highway Patrol can scan any cards you have and seize the money.
We're going to look for different factors in the way that you're acting, and we're going to look for different, if there's a difference.
Okay, they're pulling me over and I'm doing this with the music playing. Yes, officer, can I help you? I'm just grooving to my music. Turn my music down. Sir, oh, hands out. Oh, no. Okay, number one lesson. Don't have your music blaring when they pull you over. Okay. Number two, do not get out of the car. Remember that happened to that black teacher in Austin, Texas, a couple days ago? We saw her getting beaten up by the cop. Yeah, so do not try to step up and be Mr. Defender of your rights in the face of a cop, because he will basically put you down, he or she. I've had women cops, tell me, hey, shut up, we're going to ticket you. Of course they didn't, and I talked my way out of it. But if you happen to have a situation where you are in a very stressful time when the police state descends on you and they pull you over, say you were going 5 miles an hour over the speed limit. Lights flashing, you're getting all stressed out. Keep your hands on the wheel and wait for them to ask for your registration and license. If you move your hands down, they immediately get suspicious. So that's something, little tips of how to stay out of a situation of conflict, and always do what they tell you to do. Whereas whenever you see people go against them in any way, they immediately escalate into violence. That's one way to avoid a situation. All right, just so you know. You can always fight them later in court, and don't tell them you're videotaping them, because that doesn't really help. Just because your camera on your car is videotaping everything in your vicinity, like many people have these $20 cameras you can buy now that have a full SD memory that records over itself every day. You can buy these at local, Heartland America sells it. .com. Okay, dumpster diving man spending just $3 on food each year is eating healthier than most Americans. Apparently somebody tuned into the way, some people are surviving, and it's pretty amazing. $3 of food each year. That's all he spends. Ed should learn from this guy. Ed, are you watching? Most of us would like to reduce our monthly grocery expenses, but few of us are willing to go to the lengths that William Reed does. The DC grad student has found a way to eat essentially for free, spending just $5.50 on food in the past 2 years. What's his secret? He hits up his local dumpsters. While working as a volunteer for an organization called Food Not Bombs, which collects unsold food items from stores and then donates it to area food pantries, Reed noticed the tremendous amount of good food that was being tossed. There's a guy out there in, I believe it's San Francisco, that's building a restaurant where people can eat for free, and he gets out of the dumpster. Fascinating. Yeah, $3 the whole year. Pretty good. All right. I do not call for anarchy. I support a gradual transition to a better quality government, better quality people. I want all of you who are honest to run for office, as opposed to the corrupt scumbag prostitutes we have as our leaders right now. So I support our government, But I in no way want to see these scumbags continue this unbelievable rape against your tax dollars. Screwing you and all the people that have been paying into the system for years, like my family. Oh, God, just unbelievable amounts of taxes we paid. And then these people come over here and just get free food stamps and welfare, and Donald Trump wants to give them free food stamps and welfare. Donald Trump doesn't have a program like we do with our $400 per U.S. citizen per month. He doesn't have that program. This will erase any non-U.S. citizen from coming into the country and collecting food stamps like they do now, or welfare, or Section 8 housing. So this is my best solution to stopping this. Mr. Theo, hey man. Hey dude. Mr. Theo's in. Therio, Mr. Therio. Interesting name. Okay, I don't believe anarchy is a good thing, but if you think that there's a form of government called anarchy and it really is successful, could you just name that form of government, please? I tell that to every person that drifts toward libertarianism and anarchy. Could you just name one qualified government anarchy that worked for a nation? Just name one, please. Just one. Please don't denigrate me here. Treat me as though I'm a chat god, and anything you say can and won't be used against you. All right? But I will purge you. Just worship the chat itself and then pay respect to the supporters here who understand what I'm talking about. Okay? Thank you. Not many people do this every day, except for Sunday, the day of rest. I am the longest broadcaster in internet history. I've surpassed every other broadcaster with a consistent show across the globe. And I want to thank all the people that have watched me, because I am essentially I'm like the ever-ready bunny. I just keep going and going. I have an ever-ready bunny, actually. He just started. Yeah, he doesn't even get close to what I do. And please don't mention him here. Thanks. Texas sheriffs raid raw milk exchanges. Real country food from a cow is now illegal in Texas. Speaking of the police state, how'd you like to be a good cow farmer growing things naturally and not doing the ultra pasteurization which is forced upon you by Codex Alimentarius? And you got a good cow, and voila, you get the cops coming over and they're buzzing you because you happen to sell raw milk. Buying milk almost as close to nature as it gets, directly from the cow, is still a punishable offense in many areas of the U.S. Residents of the Houston, Texas suburb of Katy were reminded of this recently after being paid a visit by the police officers, for the crime of buying and selling raw dairy products on private property. Can you imagine? They're picking on people that are trying to make money. The Texas Department of State Health admits that buying raw milk directly from the farm is perfectly legal, as is having one person go to pick up that milk for a large group of buyers in order to distribute it more efficiently. But because the practice has gotten so popular, retail raw milk sales are illegal in Texas, increasing demand for exchange clubs. And the DSHS is intervening in a growing economy of natural growing milk. Can you believe this? Again, an executive order to stop DSHS from implementing draconian plans that take away your freedom and your rights. Count on that from me. I talked about people who want to make tiny homes last night. That was fun. We talked about how the young millennials want to have a small home and they don't want to be paying big taxes and have septic problems. I'm going to make sure that I'll pass an executive order giving all kinds of benefits for people who want to start a small homestead with a tiny house. The hair's looking good, and the tie is not needed tonight. And yeah, thank you. Bowie, I have a good time with my life. We enjoy living in such a beautiful place. Outside the Oval Office here, we've got the views of the Olympic Mountains. It's fantastic. Great show. Take care, ATP number 1. Yeah. I'm just kicking back tonight. I don't want to be too stressed out. You know, we can do this my way or we can do it your way, whichever. I can interact with chat for hours on end. It doesn't really bother me. My whole thing is keep the topics rolling and, add and integrate clips from the news, but we have no real format to the show, never have. Somebody just posted a really nice comment in the Washington Post about Sarah and I, and it's gone. But that's cool. Somebody just posted. Nice. Live updates are going on right now. Excellent. So let's take a look at what we have found out about Donald Trump. We heard the story from Tony Schwartz, the writer of The Art of the Deal, which Donald claims he knew. Wrote the book, but obviously doesn't want him to talk, so Donald wants him to shut up. But it can't stop the guy because he didn't sign a confidentiality agreement with Donald, meaning he can talk about what he talked about, which wasn't much. He just said that Donald Trump is in the most extreme case, the person with the least attention span he's ever seen in his life. He said he's the worst case he's ever seen. He's seen a lot of people. Tony Schwartz has. He's a professional writer. And he also said that Donald Trump gets very angry at the blink of an eye, at the moment's notice. So those two qualities, he said, are making him unfit to be president. But this 153 other qualities is another reason not to vote for Donald. You can check this out at your own leisure. I'm kind of working on number 50 right now. And I have hair, I have eyebrows. They happen to be the same color as my hair, so you can't see them. Thank you. I stand on anchor babies. What I'd like to do, thank you for that, guest 689. I want to make sure that women who come over the border have an option of giving their children to our orphanages. But they won't be allowed to stay here. No, I have the mercurial personality. Donald is simply a guy with lots of money who takes my ideas. But thank you anyway. Very dangerous, I know. At this point, if Hillary continues to have some sort of a facial twitch or something in public, Donald has a tremendous chance. That's why I need to get into the mainstream media to take on the guy who's used 10 of my ideas to his advantage to win the nomination of the Republican Party. It's just wrong what he did. And I want to go out in the media and expose this. Trump borrows money. I don't. I would rather buy this suit, which I paid $4.99 for at a thrift store, than spend $250 for this suit, which could easily sell for that. It's a David Taylor. This was on the rack for $250 in some places. I paid $5 for this, and I'm happy because I'm not in debt. Trump loves debt. And if that isn't enough reason to not vote for somebody, especially since our country is on the brink of bankruptcy at all times, we are technically bankrupt. But in reality, if you have a person who loves debt, it becomes a tremendous drain on our society when we keep drawing from debt. We've already had a guy who's taken on $8 trillion. Donald Trump could easily do the same, if not worse, in debt. Barack Obama spent $8 trillion over budget since he started. Something to think about. All right, so you want to check that link out? I'm going to go to number 50, excuse me. For some reason, it's not popping up. Well, that's weird, man. Trump is dangerously incompetent on national security. Yeah, he has promised to abandon NATO allies as a huge gift to Russia and China. It is, truly. I do sit up constantly. Thank you. Yeah, so there you have it. Dangerously incompetent on national security. We're talking about violating agreements in such a way that Trump went on camera recently and said that he would actually use nuclear weapons against our NATO forces, if necessary. Now that's dangerous. Not incontinent, incompetent. Can you imagine a president would turn on NATO allies with nuclear defenses, weakening our position with mutual parity against Russia and China? I mean, this guy is over the top. The Thai, let's look, is not, no, this is the Nude Casual Saturday. I decided that the show, the anti-war rally, cannot go on without a serious change in the way I look. I was feeling kind of tight around the collar, especially since it's summertime right now. But in the winter, I'll go back to a tie on Saturday, just because it's kind of cold. All right, so we got that covered. We talked about how we're different. The $400 a month per U.S. adult free will actually prevent illegals from getting welfare, food stamps, and other Section 8 money. Donald Trump does not have that idea. And Donald Trump is not offering $400 per month for every U.S. adult. Now, you realize the more I talk about this, the more people talk about this. And the more likely we're going to see a change in Donald Trump's position, which means you Trump supporters, even if you mentioned, hey, by the way, David mentioned he wants to give $400 away to every U.S. adult per month, and Donald doesn't. That'll get back to Donald. It will. You watch. And he will come up with a giveaway plan, which puts you in a very good position as a voter, because if he does win, he'll have to follow up on his word, or unless he just continues to lie like he's been doing. It's up to him, really. But if you continue to talk about my idea, the $400 per month, not to give money out to illegals, and he uses that in his election, you got to understand this is a major, major turning event, a turnaround point. So we're actually pushing more than just David getting to the White House by writing my name in. We're actually pushing policy right now, right here, because I've got pull. Even though it seems like I'm a guy on the blogs and nobody cares about me, we were told we were on the 8th most powerful and influential group in America, and that was 5 years ago, by a pretty eminent internet assessment tool. So I'm just telling you, you have the ability to push policy here right now. Just even Trump supporters can start talking about these ideas. Yes. All right. I'm a centrist. I'm not a leftist. And these viewer counts are completely artificial. Hi, cutie. Geisha girls watching from Osaka. Love you. Wow. We got geisha girls from Osaka. Guys, this is almost unbelievable. Look at this. I got to get a copy of this for the show. This is fantastic. Hey, cutie. I'm not in any way flirting with these geisha girls from Osaka. But you got to admit, that's pretty amazing when we bring that into the show. There it is. Hi, cute US Dave. 923 geisha girls watching from Osaka. Love you. Wow. See, we've been a major hit in Japan. David Sponheim became a national, almost a common word in Japan. We're talking millions of people when I did the blackface video. And it was only because I had to do it. I absolutely had to do it. There's no way I was going to let a black president be the worst president in American history and not impersonate him. I could have impersonated Einstein, and they would have said, oh, that's perfectly fine because Einstein's white. But because I went out of the loop and did a blackface video, the Japanese people loved me. That's right. Thank you so much for coming in. I feel loved. I'm beginning to feel that oneness, that international oneness. We love Japan too. Yeah, you know, people like Alex Jones, you're getting ready to retire. You know, we need new blood out there.
Yes, I am Bill Hicks. Or to be more accurate, you bastards. Yes, I am Bill Hicks. You bastards. Yes, I am Bill Hicks.
So Alex Jones, could you please retire?
Yes, I am Bill Hicks.
Yes, thank you.
You bastards.
Bastards? You bastards! You're to be on the red list. No, I'm not turning Japanese. We are being multicast across the globe. Our UHF channel is spread to 1 million viewers every night. 500 people are watching me from the drive-in right now. We have actually broken ground because people like Bella Starr don't even understand what we've done. Folks, I've been censored for 7, going on 8 years by the mainstream media. when I put the blackface routine into play in 2008, it was a tactical move. It was a guerrilla marketing technique that I used. And I did this because I foresaw the censorship and how controlling our media had been. I foresaw all that, and I used this sidewinded pitch, and it is right now heading directly toward the center of the media. The critical mass of world people talking about me on a nightly basis is reaching such an alarming number of people that the elitists will not be able to not give me an interview by the time the election rolls around. So if I have 3 days prior to the election, I can get people around the world to write my name in the upcoming election, because I'm that much better than Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton. I deliver a real solution-based set of tools for the country to revive its economy. And if you stand here and just wonder, gee, David, how did you do this? How did you break through the wall of censorship? You will realize that even though we are being censored heavily on the Vaughn network, I mean heavily, this guy toggles us down to under 100 people in our chat room. And you guys have seen it when the VIP capacity server screens come up and I can't get in, and you hit refresh every time. You've seen the censorship firsthand. You're watching it. And we're still fighting through it because we're going to make sure we keep America great. I don't like what Donald Trump says. He actually is repeating something that Ronald Reagan said. Make America great again. That was a Ronald Reagan slogan. But this is 100% original. Keep America great. This is my concept. I came up with a slogan last week, and it is the one I'm going to be running with the rest of my time. We are a great nation. Donald Trump doesn't know it. He's not the person out there buying milk for $2.49 at Walmart. He doesn't have any clue as to how you people have been suffering. People can talk all they want, but they haven't been given any answers. Gary Johnson doesn't want to stop the chemtrails that are dumping in our skies. Gary Johnson doesn't want to come out against GMOs. Gary Johnson wants medical marijuana legal. That means pharmacies and prescriptions and BS. Washington State's getting rid of its medical marijuana plan. It didn't work. I support full recreational legalization, and I've been the one doing this for the past 8 years. Gary Johnson just started a couple years ago, in the last cycle. Now, if you guys want to vote for somebody who doesn't even care about the air you breathe or the water you drink, by all means, vote for a guy who wants to profit from marijuana. But please, let's not go there. Welcome to Fantasy Island. You know, Tesla called this guy an idiot, by the way. Many people think he was a scam artist, coming up with the secrets to theories of relativity. His math, E equals MC squared, didn't really add up to any mathematicians, and he never proved it with logic. What people are realizing, though, is he was so smart he created the potential for nuclear genocide. Not too bright, if you ask me. So if you believe that Einstein is a person who you should have respect for, and not recognize the simple fact that he proposed a deadly weapon. Ironically, his fascination with light put him in a position where he proposed a deadly weapon and a force so powerful that it could annihilate the human race. I'm sorry, I don't consider that brilliance. Fixing this problem is going to be the biggest task. Creating fresh water and food and making more nations prosperous through this process of producing water and food. We will have peace in this world. And we won't have the threat that was brought to us by this nutcase, Albert Einstein. Okay. I don't have a boyfriend. Yeah, a lot of you people are really out to lunch. David, what do you think about the France-Nice attacks? They're very Nice. I'm concerned that they were complete false flag events. The fact that the government issued a warning saying all CCTV camera footage would be destroyed because they didn't want anyone to see anything bad. Yet they played the video of the bodies laying on the ground with blood spurting out. Total contradiction. And then you look, as if there's no four of the major CCTV cameras, the footage is there, but we haven't seen it. So I'm really anxious to see what the local police are going to do in Nice, France. They said that they would not destroy the evidence. So we're going to see if that evidence pops up and if it's real. If this event really was real. All right. Thank you. Don't do meds. Never had any mental problems in my life. I'm extremely well adjusted, and it's one of the reasons why I'm able to do this show every night consistently for 7 years. Yeah, Trump is supporting Hillary Clinton. He stands behind her. He's like, Trump is Hillary Clinton's #1 supporter. That's why the Republicans have been duped here. The Democrats installed this Democrat, Donald Trump, who's pretending to be a Republican right now, to take down the Republican Party, and it's working. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. If you look at what he recently said, or what he said many years ago, you'll be surprised. Check this out.
In many cases, I probably identify more as a Democrat. I've been around for a long time, and it just seems that the economy does better under the Democrats than the Republicans. But if you go back, I mean, it just seems that the economy does better under the Democrats.
Healthcare.
Liberal in healthcare. We have to take care of people that are sick.
Universal health coverage.
I love universal. Hillary Clinton, I think, is a terrific woman. I mean, I'm a little biased because I've known her for years. I live in New York, she lives in New York, and I've known her and her husband for years, and I really like them both a lot. I think she really works hard, and I think she does a good job, and I like her. She's a really good person and woman.
It depends upon what the meaning of the word is.
Yeah. Yeah. What's the meaning of the word is? I mean, we're dealing with a very deceptive government. It's time for Sponheim. Thank you. Thanks for that, Scissor Fight. Excellent. So we do the show consistently. I'm the only person in America who's been on the show every day, transparent with the community, and censored to the point where we keep, they censor, at this point, they've got 68 viewers in our room, meaning somehow we aren't reaching a lot of people. And then they're coming in saying that's a joke, that this is a big joke, and I have to purge that person because we are reaching 1 million people around the world. They're glued to what we're doing. But what you're doing around the world in countries like the Philippines and in South Korea, in Japan, New Zealand, Australia, Latvia, Finland, Sweden, there are people in Norway watching us. What you're doing is you're spreading the word to your American friends, and they're looking back and saying, hey, yeah, look at this guy. He's been running for 8 years against all odds and hasn't had any media time. It's amazing. Plus, he has great ideas to save the nation. All I can tell you is this is the worst case of censorship I've ever seen. One of our supporters garnished a whole lot of signatures in a state, sent a packet to us recently, and it was lost in the mail. I'm not kidding. Not only was it lost in the mail, we sent them a packet that was lost in the mail as well. So we know there's something going on around the country at the USPS system. Let's not forget Balzac, Romania. Thank you, you people in Balzac. I didn't know. Is there a place? Oh, wait, we've got Boink here. Hey, Boink, speaking of Balzac, how are you? How's it going, man? Folks, we got a famous entertainer in the show. He's the world-renowned Boink, known for his 3,000 male erotic films that you've been in. You're doing pretty well? Good. I'm doing great. Thanks for coming in. Yeah, he started coming to our show a long time ago, and we just kind of catch him whenever he's in, because we have to give him attention, otherwise he gets pissed off. Balzac? It's pronounced in the Balzac area of Romania? Okay, I didn't know there was an area called Balzac. Because I'm familiar with Romania. I have relatives from Romania. Mostly in the Transylvania area. Bleh. Did you know that Prince Charles was a direct descendant of Count Dracula? You didn't know that? Well, let me be the first to bring you a little bit of information. information. Prince Charles and the Count Dracula. Yes, you didn't know that the Windsor family had the connections. According to Prince Charles, he's related to Dracula. Let us listen directly to Prince Charles.
Villages survive practically unchanged, despite Romania's stampede towards modernization. I'll be exploring the forests and mountains beyond as we go in search of the European brown bear and find out why this elusive species is so vital to the survival of the environment. On my way, I'll be meeting a dedicated group of individuals whose passion for this area is helping to redefine its importance as one of the great surviving wonders of the natural world. These include a Transylvanian count who is working to conserve some of the most ancient of Carpathia's medieval villages, and His Royal Highness Prince Charles, who can trace his ancestry back to Romania's dark and distant past.
The genealogy shows that I'm descended from Vlad the Impaler, you see. So I do have a bit of a stake in the country.
As it were.
Did you hear that? He was a descendant of Vlad the Impaler. I've got to get a copy of this. I want to run this up against Hillary Clinton and her mental breakdown that happened a couple days ago. This should be fabby. Yes, here's the link in case you want to check it out. Prince Charles admitting that he is related to Vlad the Impaler. Okay, let's talk about other things. And you can watch the screen and it'll move. Yes, Hillary had some seizures. We're almost ready for our theme song. We get some music playing here.
Let's say China. 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 You go over to China. 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 You take China. China.
We interrupt this broadcast to prevent anyone from playing that song for more than 23 seconds. The Digital Millennium Copyright Act requires that I not play it, otherwise I'll be monetized on YouTube. Whew. Okay. I have never been anything like that. You see, I have to spend my time muting. I should really parse off powers here to some of you people. It's going to get to the point where I may have to actually talk to Sarah about getting mods in the room. You know, because I like to keep a clean chat. When Sarah's in here, she doesn't do the modding thing. And I tend to believe that you got to keep a clean room. It teaches these people, these scumbags, that we don't let that happen in our room. It shows authority. So I'm going to maybe talk to Sarah about maybe getting some mods eventually. Yeah, I mean, other rooms are doing it. She's a good woman, yes. Yes, Vlad the Impaler. Let's put it in Illuminati. Make it an A. Okay, let's see if we can pull up some things here. Free speech, Dave. Yeah, right, sure. No, denigrating somebody is slander, in my opinion, and I don't like slander in my room. That's where I'm coming from, okay? Well, I wouldn't allow guest chat, Bromo, but people like to talk. They want to come in and they want to communicate. They want to interact. That's what makes this show good, is I'm interacting with every single thing that comes in the chat room. Free speech mods will kill the room, I know. Yeah, I'm kind of hesitant to do mods, you're right. What do you mean, don't allow chat? I'm here to allow chat. Are you working for the enemy? Are you working for Hillary or Donald? Sticks and stones will break my bones. Well, let's be clear. We got something coming here. I got to get some videos going. Hold on, please. One moment, please. We now bring you the repeated pattern of Charles saying that he's from Dracula.
My journey will take me through the foothills, where ancient villages survive, who is working to conserve some of the most ancient of Carpathia's medieval villages, and His Royal Highness Prince Charles, who can trace his ancestry back to Romania's dark and distant past.
The genealogy shows that I'm descended from Vlad the Impaler, you see. So I do have a bit of a stake in the country.
As it were.
Okay, as it were. So there you go.
The genealogy shows that I'm descended from Vlad the Impaler, you see. So I do have a bit of a stake in the country.
As it were.
The genealogy shows that I'm descended from Vlad the Impaler, you see. So I do have a bit of a stake in the country.
As it were.
The genealogy shows that I'm descended from Vlad the Impaler, you see. So I do have a bit of a stake.
Okay, yeah, nothing to brag about there,
The
buddy.
genealogy shows that I'm descended from
So I've
Vlad
spent the past
Impaler.
15 minutes talking about the
So I
same
have a bit of a
topic.
stake in the country.
In a few minutes, I will be testing you on
genealogy
whether
shows that I'm descended
Prince
from-
Charles is related to anybody famous, and you can decide. You can decide if it's Vlad the Impaler. We'll ask you that question. I'm doing a brain dead test on the room. He was the Lizard Man, the original Lizard Man, like Jim Morrison. Come on, baby, light my fire. Try to set the night on fire. Sorry. So we've got a lot of problems with the current leadership, the Windsor family and their connections to Count Dracula. But aside from that, nothing to worry about. Everything's moving forward. You, sir, have no right to come in here. Yeah, that's right. And we will act with extreme prejudice no matter where you are. Because we don't think it's proper to slander and threaten the future president of the United States. Thank you. Thank you so much. DT Laura lowered the boom on you, dude. Yeah, good job, DT Laura. No, the Alex Jones versus Young Turks is a complete shill, point counterpoint. Two shills working for the government. There's no point to analyze. It's absurd. You got to understand, the elitists, the Illuminati who are creating wars and starting wars, the bankers, if you will, they essentially prosper by creating the illusion of choice. So when they put two people and they go at it that are completely on the take, and we know the Young Turks are getting a lot of AdSense dollars, so they're already bought off. Anybody on YouTube who's getting a lot of AdSense dollars is completely owned by the government. Yeah. Every YouTube star is a complete shill. Anyone who's not, and I'm not talking about sexy whatever, I'm talking about whoever. Anyone who's not bought is not getting numbers, and their hit counters are locked. Like this Truth Virus 2. Look, he's got 19 views. Of course, he just posted 2 minutes ago. This is a PSYOPs planned for the DNC in Philly. Check this out. This guy's going into details. 5 minutes we've got coming up at the bottom of the 9 o'clock hour.
I have some very interesting news to report indeed. On July 21st, I posted a video of the scanner feed regarding the Charles Kinsey, North Miami shooting, and I proved how there was not one single word uttered over the police scanner regarding Charles Kinsey, as well as the Minnesota shooting of Philando Castile.
All right, this is something we play in the evenings. Cool, thanks for the link. Dave, lives do matter. Yep, they do. Don't buy into this BS about Black Lives Matter because they haven't done anything wrong. If you're getting into the rhetoric about Black Lives Matter, I mean, that's like calling them Black Panthers members. And for that matter, the Black Panthers never did anything wrong back in the day. You know that most of them were vindicated when they sued the police department for repossessing their weapons? They all had actual permits for those weapons. So a lot of you realize that there are a lot of people in here who don't like what I'm saying. Every time you see a person who really wants to get rid of me and gives a death threat in the room, not only is that in recorded history, and the NSA keeps track of this stuff, but thank you very much, 259. I'd love to be your president. Thank you for giving me your show of support. But we are seeing a genuine, almost hatred generated against black people for no reason. Strange. Black people matter, yes. To forget about the fact that these people have a situation they're dealing with where they're getting killed by cops is not a good sign. The fact that a black man, Barack Obama, who should be dealing with these problems, isn't even dealing with them, showing you what a shill he is for the people that put him there, the rich people that put him there. You're seeing lack of leadership preventing innocent people from being profiled, racially profiled, and then killed. But you know, more white people are dying from police brutality than blacks. So there's nothing really to discuss there. I mean, it's bad for both blacks and whites. But anyone wanting to get me out of the picture and really trying to threaten me actually has created a problem for themselves because, number one, I'm not going away. Ever. You can't even get to me. Seriously. I'm pretty well protected. And second of all, if you think that you can stop me, you can't. Because we have this indomitable spirit. And you can't stop an indomitable spirit. You have to go with that. You have to understand, we the people have spoken, and we continue to speak every night on the blogs simply because we can. And that's the only reason why we're making headway against the Illuminati. Because they didn't plan the internet. They never planned on having a group of people spreading the word and working interactively to create a consensus like we do, a community, if you will. They never planned on this. So they can't stop us. They really can't. And they don't even know how fast we're growing, too. That's what really is amazing. Because the word of mouth traffic is blowing past the censors. He could keep me at 60 viewers in this room. I'm reaching millions. So we can't stop, and we won't stop.
We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight. We can't stop, we can't stop, we can't stop, we can't stop, and we won't stop. We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight. We can't stop, we can't stop,
So let's be clear. Vlad the Impaler. So I do have a bit of a stake in the country. As it were. The genealogy shows that I'm descended from Vlad the Impaler.
Sometime for president.
This is wrong, what I'm seeing here. We've got to stop this brutality. We've got to get measures in place for police to be sensitive to the needs of the individual. This is intolerable. I cannot believe in our country people are being treated this way. It's wrong.
We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight. We can't stop, we can't stop, we can't stop, we can't stop.
Do you want this as a future?
In this coming election year, please vote for David on high. America's third party.
Okay, let's talk about demagoguery. Tonight we're going to discuss how Donald Trump is using the same demagoguery that Adolf Hitler used against Jewish people. He's using against Muslims. And you got to understand, Donald Trump has no concern for freedom of speech. He himself said that he would make laws against people criticizing him in the media. That's unintelligible. Focus on writing your sentences. Try not to use spell check. Building a third party is the most productive thing I can do right now. Becoming a nation that is united is the best thing we can do right now. As a fiscal conservative, I appeal to the Tea Party people. As a social liberal, I appeal to the Bernie Sanders people. So please, you guys, come together. Come together. Sarah's here. Right now, over me. Yeah, so we've been talking a lot about, various things that obviously are concerning people. A presidential candidate who is dangerously incompetent on national policy and national security. When asked about the triad in one of the debates, Donald Trump didn't even know what the triad was. The actual triad is the nuclear air, sea, and land defense system that needs to be updated. It's got old infrastructure. Donald Trump didn't even know what it was. It became obvious that he was completely lost. So yeah, we've got a real problem. And a lot of people are definitely going out of their way to talk about how bad he is. Like Tony Schwartz, the guy who wrote The Art of the Deal. He turned out to be the 100% writer, and Donald Trump got all the credit for it because he hired a ghostwriter. I will recharge my battery pack.
Okay. Very nice job.
Thank you. We're laying brick. We've been laying bricks since the beginning. The fact that we've spread across the globe, you know that we're reaching all kinds of people. We have got 893 geisha girls in Osaka, Japan watching us. And I know I'm a little flattered by that, but you know I'm not in any way interested in other women because you're the only one for me. You know that, right? That's how I feel. Anyway, it's very flattered that all of you geisha girls like a guy who's running for president, but you got to find your own man. Because this man is taken. I'm Sarah's one and only.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you
very much.
So don't even flatter yourself, folks.
It's right here. Thanks for being a part of it.
We are building the third party right here, right now. Every night that we do the show, it gets better and better. Would you like to play some music?
No.
Okay. I am going to step out and get a little something to drink, coffee-wise, and warm up my cup, and you can hang out. Okay.
Sounds good.
The Koch brothers now supporting often confused Hillary Clinton. Wow. Interesting. So I guess the Koch brothers are grasping at straws now that they don't have anybody to get behind. No, Sarah has never smoked marijuana, and she's not a leftist. In fact, Sarah supported a Republican in the early days of her political career. I was a 30-year Democrat who left the Democratic Party in 2008 to start America's Third Party. All right. Thank you.
What are you saying about Justin Trudeau, Antique? Yeah, I mean, just because something's legal in Canada doesn't necessarily mean that that's what Trudeau's favorite thing is, or Alura's thing is. Good point, well made, Alura. I agree with you there. Yes, exactly. Alright, good. Alright, I was going to catch up on the news myself. Let's see what he's saying there. Okay, let's see if I can do this one. All right, exactly. Hello, Russian spy person. right. Let's see if we can add some. I like to make some comments on different articles while I'm talking with you. It doesn't. Sure, I'll just like. Okay. Hello, William Wallace. And I don't know if everybody's still watching me over there. Let's see. Oh, that's weird. Oh, maybe I need to scroll this up a little bit. No? Alright. Good. Hope you guys are having a good evening. Just gonna pull this back up. Alright. Oh, I don't even want to know 888. What do you guys think things about? Let's see. You must have an account to leave a comment. All right. Wow. What is that comment even about for 8-9? I will run the country very strongly if something were to happen to David. I would broker peace with all countries, and I will help reinvigorate our country with lots of infrastructure. And I will find whoever hurt David and make them pay. Hi, Jackson. Not much. Why watch? No, I have lots of ideas as well, and David and I thought of many of the ideas together. Like David says often that Sarah thought of the lethal electric fence. I wonder if I did, because I believe that in a lethal electric fence. I believe in a strong border. I believe in taking care of Americans first and foremost. Are you sure you're not talking about yourself, Bobby? All right. So there's many ideas we believe in at America's Third Party that both David and I do believe in. We believe in helping the American people with housing. We believe in taking care of the American people first. What are you talking about, FJJ? Thank you very much, Allura. So we believe in getting back to the basics. America is a great country. We have a wonderful citizenship that works very hard. And we do believe in hard work. We also believe that we have the resources that we need to take care of our country. Yes, because he could talk to you, FJJ. Good point. I will handle foreign policy with an open ear to other countries. I'm not going to start wars unless they threaten our national security. We are going to take care of our military men and women. We will have peace in our time. Peace with, and we will have a much better relationship with Putin than we currently do. And with other countries as well. One of the things that we're going to do with foreign policy as well is we're going to create an island off our borders so that we no longer have the UN meeting in New York. They will be meeting in a place that is not owned by any particular country. And we're not going to abandon any of our allies from NATO or the UN. We're also not going to allow for economic hitmen to try to intimidate people. No, I'm not reading off of any teleprompter. I have no need to do such. By working together with other countries, we will put an end to ISIS terror groups. With Israel, we will stop funding them financially. We will support them if they need it, but not with finances, only with our troops and with food and water if they need it. You have the word demagoguery stuck in your head now. David has a way to do that. He definitely uses a very great vocabulary. Hello, Ronnie. The point of moving the UN away is to not have diplomats who have diplomatic immunity in our country, so that people that come to our country just for UN meetings, people that come to our country would have to be actual ambassadors in order to have diplomatic immunity. We could construct a wall along the Canadian border. I personally don't think it's needed to do so, but that is a possibility that we can look into. Guest chat was off for a moment. Okay, yes, well, the sound may keep dropping. That's because I don't say everything endlessly like David does. No, the embassies would be still in our country. No, multicolor HIV stir. I do not support America using Zimbabwe as a political or economic model. I think that it could look like that America may be using Zimbabwe as such if either of the mainstream candidates are elected. People will run under the third party and then go into Senate. However, I believe a third party is the best way to communicate with both Senate and House. The people really want a centrist in the executive branch. We do not believe in the major two-party system, and that's why we created America's third party. David has a lot of great ideas for our country, and he believes a top-down restoration is needed for our country. Yes, as vice president, I will also vote cast the deciding vote in Senate if needed. David is very intelligent, and that's why he's choosing to run for president. He's tired of what he sees in the political spectrum right now and the political environment, and he encourages all of you to speak out politically. We do enjoy where we live. I'm not demonizing anyone. I think hardworking people are to be admired. I do think that we need to address our illegal immigrant issue. I think that people can have immigrants coming into this country if they decide to sponsor them on, say, work visas, because there are a lot of hardworking people that want to live in our country that come from all around our world. I believe, of course, that the jobs should go to Americans who want those jobs first and foremost. Thank you all for coming into our show. There's a lot going on in our country. One of the things that we need to make sure we do is help America first and foremost. Thank you. All right, Bowie, what time is it where you live? I will make those decisions when the time comes. 378. Yes, help America. That is our slogan. As David said, pay Americans first. That's exactly what it's about, is not paying other countries, having all of our money go out to foreign countries to help everything around the world. It's about helping America and helping Americans first. Great. Yes, you're right, 263. So, California's minimum wage has risen, which actually has increased unemployment. That's why I believe in a living wage. I don't necessarily believe in a minimum wage. When I say that I believe in a living wage, we need to lower the cost of living. And that's what we believe in at America's Third Party. We believe in lowering the cost of living by giving people opportunity to actually build up housing with their own labor. And because really, when you think about it, when it comes to housing, what you need is land, lumber, and labor. That is what you need to solve our housing crisis. Simply throwing money at problems is not going to solve the issue. And that's what many politicians have done for far too long, is just throw money at the problems rather than actually fix the problems. I'm glad to hear it, 263. Thank you, Uncle Lester. There's a lot that we can do to fix our problems. So when I say a living wage, we definitely need housing. We also need to look at our water sources and make sure that we are offering clean, fresh drinking water to all of our Americans. We can do that with desalination of our ocean systems. That's why David believes in a ocean pipeline system that can desalinate our water. Unskilled workers can be trained. Anyone can be trained to build a house. It takes training to accomplish things, but if people want a house to live in, they can come and learn how to build a house, and then they can live in it. Like I say, MJS, I'm not going to put a price tag on a living wage. It's about offering a living, and that means not saying, oh, there should be a minimum wage or everyone's going to make over a certain amount of money. They should be able to have a place that they can live in. And I believe that we have the resources in America to have a better baseline than homelessness and hunger. There are many homeless people out there, and some people say, oh, people that are homeless choose to be homeless. And I'm just not convinced of that. I think that we do need to offer more opportunities in our country rather than just giving things away in our country. I have done some building, not a complete house, but I have done some building. Yes, you definitely need to be able to use a hammer and a nails, and you need to know some basic electronics, and all of those things can be taught. That's pretty funny, Uncle Lester, if he's still claiming that he did that. Yes, you need lumber. Like I said, to build a house, you need land, lumber, and labor. That's what you need to accomplish building a house. It takes many people working together to build a house, and I think everyone can be trained to do so. You can build you can include a foundation as well. You definitely, materials, when I say like lumber, I'm talking about not just lumber, but also materials to lay a foundation, etc. I think that it does provide housing for people. Uncle Lester, I think modular housing does provide housing for people. I don't necessarily think it's for everyone, and that's the great thing at America's Third Party. We believe in a baseline plus economy. We believe that we need to we need to have a baseline for people, but that people can go beyond that baseline if they so choose. It does, yes, I think Habitat for Humanity is a good organization. Not really, Douglas. Thank you. It's different for each area. When people talk about a monetary value, just like living in New York City, Manhattan is much more expensive than living in Alabama. So that's why I don't put a price tag or monetary value on the baseline. But what I will say, a baseline is people, if they want to put forward effort, to say that if you put forward effort, you can have a basic house that you can live in. Otherwise, if you're not willing to put in the effort, you can definitely live in a tent city without fear that people are going to come and attack you. Tony says a different topic regarding medical charges and cost. He believes that there should be a dollar cap, and it should have happened years ago. A person can save all of their life, their entire life, and supposedly think they have retirement security. Yet when a major health condition arises, they can be drained of all of that. And yes, exactly. All insurance benefits, all of your retirement and that you saved up for years can be taken by medical hospitals and surgeons. I definitely think that we need to address our health care issues. And when I say that, I don't think that we need to just change over health insurance to make sure everyone has insurance, because insurance is supposed to be given when people, it's supposed to be in a way not used. It's supposed to be like when you have homeowner insurance, for instance, that's something like, hopefully nothing will ever bad happen to your house. Yet if it does, that's a backup plan for you. Yet when you're talking about health insurance, people should be able to go to a doctor. There's many people in America, even with what the Affordable Care Act, that don't go and see a doctor because it's turned out to not be affordable for people. And so I believe that we need to look at health care and providing health care to people. I know it's a mandatory. Uncle Lester says President Obama should make automobile insurance mandatory. I know it is mandatory in Canada, but I also know Uncle Lester doesn't like Canada very much. Right. Okay. I think many people still are proud to be American. 761. I think that when you say you come to the site and wonder if people are proud to be American, a lot of people participating on this particular website that you're viewing on are not American and have a totally different perspective about America. I think part of the issue is that so many people in America are proud to be American that when they travel overseas, they're unwilling to learn other languages, etc. And they think other Americans, not necessarily myself, but some Americans kind of push Americanism on other countries when they go to visit. So the people overseas have a different perspective of American.
Multicolor hipster, HIV-ster, says, will David recognize chiropractic as legitimate science? Yes, I think so. Yeah. I think we can recognize just as much as any other field. Acupressure, acupuncture can be recognized as legitimate science. Will we pay Medicaid and Medicare funds for it? No. No. Sorry. Yeah, I just don't see the need to back yet another healthcare provider with U.S. dollars. I'm sorry. We're tapped out with Medicare, Medicaid. You sound like Sarah Palin. Well, Sarah Palin is nowhere near as young as Sarah, and I can tell you her approach, Sarah, is much nicer than Sarah Palin. Sarah Palin seemed like a different person off camera, whereas Sarah is exactly as you see her. Completely as she is right now with you. That's how she really is. And same with me. Yeah, not many people are getting scared because they know that they're going to be out of a job because Obama has screwed the economy over. They don't think Hillary will come up with any new plans, but Donald doesn't have any new plans except the ones he stole from me. And I don't think he's going to be able to implement those because he really doesn't understand them. These plans were honed out of concern for the problems facing the country, common sense solutions we started with in 2008. And we really worked hard to integrate with the chat room to come up with these ideas. So when you talk about the anti-war rally and you look at the top news article, which is in the world, this is the typical article that we're getting right now. ISIS claims Afghanistan explosion that kills dozens. All we hear about is ISIS killing dozens of people. What the government doesn't realize is, the American people are becoming desensitized to war completely. So this whole ISIS and fear of ISIS thing doesn't work when a country has been dumbed down to the point where they're desensitized to war. So I just don't think that propaganda, even if it is true, that ISIS claims Afghanistan explosion that kills dozens, even if it's true, I still don't think it's working. It's not resonating among the American people. Okay, I'll let you get back to the chat. Sorry.
Okay. Should I just do this?
Yeah, you can. I guess go.
Got it.
All right. You're good. I just put possible.
No, I'm not putting possible anything.
Okay.
That's not a possible.
All right. And we cleared them from chat. Go ahead and ban them. Go ahead and ban. All right, we are trying to deal with a lot of hostility coming at us on a nightly basis, so we're doing our best. Thank you for coming in, everybody.
Yes. Thank you. The taxpayers are in debt to the tune of 23% of the intrinsic worth of the country, Amelroot says. What makes them so superior to the poor with no credit and little debt? You're saying the taxpayers, or the U.S. in general, the only thing that they would think makes them superior is the fact that they can continue to print money indefinitely. It's just unbelievable. There are every 2 years or so, Uncle Lester, a lot of the offices are up every 4 years, so that which coincides with the presidential run, and David will, until he serves his 2 terms, he'll always be running for president, so that limits some of the other offices that we would run for. All right, Neil, I think, you don't need to call people names just because they have VIP status or something like that. All right. Yep, David will be back shortly. So there looks like in Dover, there's thousands of people stuck in lines and delays. Okay. Well, I read an older book called I'm reading a book about how to be a better writer in general. That's pretty much. Thank you. My hair color that's something that's easy to change. All right. Yeah, exactly. I think it's nice that someone chooses to support this website. Good job.
All right, thank you. I hooked up shop. Yeah, we got that going.
Okay, nice.
Yep. You don't do a lot of reading except online now, right? Mostly?
Mostly. But I am reading a book. I mean, I'm reading a book about how to be a better writing teacher and about just being a better writer in general.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
All right.
Then I read another book. I have another room that I'm reading through, but I haven't been doing a whole lot of reading this summer.
All right. Well, maybe because most people are sidetracked that they don't read anymore. Or do you think the American people just don't really read? I think a lot of people are kind of staying, because I noticed it was a strain on my eyes when I read anything other than online, because I enjoy online because you can do whatever you want, zooming in. And oftentimes I would find reading to be rather difficult as you get older. Past the age of 45, and I'm 56, but past the age of 45, your eyes start having a difficult time focusing at close distances. Normally you're fine. 20/20, I'm actually 20/20 everywhere I go. But if I hold the book right up against my face like I did when I was a kid and read it, voraciously, I spent years as a child reading, and I can't get that focus when it's up close. So, why are you wearing a cuckoo clock? I'm not.
That's just part of the picture above David's head.
Cuckoo, cuckoo. And you remember very little of what you read? What about in chat? If I called you a name right now, would you remember the name I called you? Because you read a lot of chat. Apparently everybody's reading chat here, so we're all good at reading. We don't have a problem with that.
I like audiobooks as well.
Oh, you do?
Yes.
That's not a bad idea, because you can get them online, right?
Right. You can get them from your local public library as well.
Online, digitally, yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
For
free.
And most libraries have some kind of app or something that you can download, and then you can't have as many books as you want. I mean, you basically check out the books.
Oh, okay.
As you did before,
yeah.
And you have a certain amount of time to listen to them.
Well,
you've never read a book in your life? Have you ever had a book read to you, like Cat in the Hat?
We have a person who's really sad. I'm sad. This 500 says he's sad and he's really depressed. Or she's really depressed. What can we do to help, 500? We are kind of a community here that has people you can chat with in the evening, anytime you want. And we do have a nice little community way in the evening. I play videos all the way to 2 in the morning, so don't ever feel like you can't come in and talk to people. You can get a username at the Vaughn Network and share your concerns. It's not like you have to spill your guts on the show, but I mean, if you're concerned about something in your life, we want to hear about it. We get that a lot. Evil persists throughout our society, folks. You can see it in our room. Isn't it amazing? I will be muting that person, but your favorite prostitute was murdered. Bummer. I can't make it right for you. What if you find a new favorite prostitute somewhere? We do want to legalize prostitution. We talked about that on our show too. We could easily talk about that tonight. I don't mind.
Maybe you should write a book that you would find interest in.
I don't want to send a
Because other
message.
people that don't find interest in books will find what you find interesting.
Well, you could write a book that, like, all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy over and over again, like the guy in The Shining, played by Jack Nicholson. Oh, we can ban you. Oh, yeah. Nice try coming back, though. Try it again. Try it again and see if you can come back under a different name. Took him a long time to come back, notice that. He had to reboot. They have a dynamic IP changer, but they have to reboot every time they do it. Oh.
I think it would go down. I believe it would, if prostitution were legalized, that human trafficking would go down. Because
you think so?
Yes.
Yeah.
I know it's a
I agree.
philosophical idea, but more women would probably be involved in prostitution, so...
Well, the fact is they wouldn't need the protection against the coppers.
Right.
Like the pimp provides. He's like, I'll take care of you, honey. And then they come out and they provide protection for these, and then the pimp ends up, running the show, and they lose all their profits. And what is you're in favor of legalization of prostitution? What do you think about requiring people to pay royalties to people in the porn industry? Like in the film industry, because like SAG actors get royalties for films that they're in, but women and men who are involved in the sex industry are exploited. And they never make any money on their films.
How much is really made? I mean, that's like, I think trying to control that is like trying to control the music industry.
You're right.
I just don't think that's...
Forget about it.
A possible
You're right
possibility.
Again. I stand corrected.
But
legalization does have a problem. It does tell people, it's okay, and that can be, a career ender in their lives.
Unless you did all your chores.
Yes, I'm all done.
Thank you.
My chores are all done, and I'm ready to go. Thank you so much. It's been a very productive evening, and a very cool evening, too. We talked a little bit about legalization of prostitution tonight. I mean, how many people talk about that and run a political campaign at the same time? I don't know, man. You've got to find a new love in your life. Thanks, Sarah. I don't have moves. No, I have big pecs. I'm built like I'm kind of trying to hold my muscle tone down. It's getting to be ridiculous. I can't even fit a 40. Well, I've got a 46 on right now, and it's tight. And I bought that 48 from the thrift store for $5, and that's loose on me. But I'm really the same suit size as the... Well, let's not talk about it. Yeah, it's legal and taxed in Amsterdam. And I understand, it's working out okay. I have a 2-pack. You have an alibi. Do you think Armageddon was Bastille Day? Do you take it seriously? Do you really believe that those people died? The 84 people were crushed by the 80,000-pound vehicle? And not one bit of blood drop came out? I don't know. I'm not a fat person, so there's no real special Salvation Army out there for fat people that I know of. I'd like to recommend this as your next defense weapon. Okay, Mad Dog got us a tactical flashlight. He sent this to Sarah in the mail. This is a state-of-the-art tactical weapon used in the field by police officers. If you shine this in somebody's eyes, you can freak them out. And it even has different settings, flashing lights, straight light. And what's really interesting about this, Mad Dog? You can actually take it and shoot, or rather focus the beam down to like that much at a distance of 20 feet. It's almost like as bright as a laser, but not as damaging. First look at the Ruger American pistol. Oh yeah, I know Rugers real well. Yeah, 9mm and 45s. Yeah, a lot of people are getting into handguns. I think it's perfectly fine for you to, spend your time shopping for weapons, because obviously it's helping the weapons industry, and we have a very, very strong weapons industry. It's one of the reasons why we're not in a major downturn on our economy. Companies like Ace Hardware have made a lot of money on gun sales. Even Walmart sells guns. And that's actually the only thing keeping our economy going in some areas, believe it or not. So I'm pro-gun, by the way. Okay, the Ruger of yesterday is dead, gone are the overly derivative designs of the 80s and the stagnant rifle development surrounding the Mini 14. Now the Little Ranch rifle comes in suppressor-friendly 300 BLK. And the Ruger offers not only an AR-15, but also a long-range precision rifle, which made quite a splash. Well, I'll be darned. Well, isn't that special? Well. Okay, any other questions? You want x-ray vision when you got all the free porn in the world? What is your problem? Are you like suffering from lack of free porn? Wow, some of you must have really had a problem there in life. You got everything at your fingertips. You're overstimulated and you want something more? What a joke. Okay, guess 4518. Check this out. You're going to see what's happening, folks, from the backside. This is a little glimpse of what's going on in this room right now. Check out what 451 just said. 2 hours I'm trying to get in here. 2 hours. David, what will you do to stop those obese people? Well, they may stop eating. But obese people could definitely do one thing to prevent them from killing themselves. And I'm going to introduce the extra cycle of the future, folks. Let me show you just a gym filled with kinetic cycles. They're called parasitic generators. They generate a tremendous amount of energy. When you sit on one of these things, you start moving. It's kind of like a dance routine, This guy's, look at all the energy he's burning. Right there. All of that is lost energy. What just happened? Anyway, you thought that was funny? All right, well, this is serious. Some people generate energy other ways. Some people do little jigs, little dance moves with their heads. We don't know what's going on with that. No, I will not put a rapid scanner in your sunglasses. No, you can't go to the airport and look at everybody's genitals like the Border Patrol and the TSA does. You're not that lucky. But you do get free porn, I told you that. Oh, there's a lot of talent going on here. Check out this shirt that Wintard got. Isn't that cool? That's on our store. You can get the original. That's our cat, by the way. That's Amber. And that's the original Amber shirt. It's available in small, medium, large, and extra large. You can start promoting America's Third Party and wear our kitty cat on your shirt. Go to our store and just click the t-shirt button. All right, so getting accountability from our government. That's probably the most important video of the campaign. I think so. There are a lot of videos we could play. I mean, the fact that Hillary will disclose aliens gives her a kind of an edge with all the whack jobs. I will give you that much. I mean, that was kind of an interesting move when Hillary said she would disclose all the information on aliens. But I have actually said that. I would do that. I don't believe in aliens, but lots of things are happening. So I will sign the full disclosure commitment that Stephen Greer at CSETI puts out. What did Nero do when Rome burned? Well, what did Nero do when he got kicked off Twitter? Did you hear about the guy named Nero on Twitter? He's been kicked off. He can't... I mean, talk about denial of free speech. I am 100% sure I can ban you. Yes. Who did the design to promote that shirt? I did. I drew that picture. So let's get a picture of, get some fair and balanced journalism going here and bring you a picture of Donald doing what he does best. So the least we can do is give you some sort of rounded view. By the way, Donald and Hillary both support sending in ground troops into the Middle East. I am officially against war. I don't buy into this whole idea of pushing our troops in to take over ISIS, the imaginary ISIS group. Yeah, so I'm a little concerned about that foreign policy. And I also believe that bringing our troops home will help our economy. So this is one of the reasons why I think you should vote for me. Donald and Hillary both want to send ground troops into Syria and continue the effort, forcing the rebels to push deeper into Bashar al-Assad's territory. Mindless, absolutely mindless, foolish, in fact, for us to do that. So that's something that you'll definitely not get with me. I won't push deeper into war. In fact, I have made the commitment that we'll not increase troops in the Middle East. We will subtract. I'm the only guy out there who said that. All right, thank you. We would never start up a fake charity like the Clintons to get money. I'm not into money. I'm a non-materialist. I have no interest in money. I don't even push for donations here. You know that you can donate on our website, but not many people do. You're talking to a guy who's completely untethered to the materialistic world that you live in. I've become almost inert unto myself. I'm an island unto myself, so I don't really need to make a lot of money to feel secure in my life. Unlike Donald Trump, who is clearly viable, and Hillary is clearly viable, it makes them vulnerable of a liability, not to mention the espionage he's already committed by revealing the emails that were top secret and then not revealing the top secret emails, which would have been very helpful in discovery stage on Benghazi. We've been led down the road to ruin by corrupt officials in our government too, like the recent FBI director's decision not to pursue a criminal charge against Hillary. Big mistake. Big mistake, because this woman is clearly mistaken and incompetent. Having lost 5 months worth of emails is a classic case of incompetence alone. That should alone rule her out. But then you get the 154 reasons to kick Donald Trump from the running. I mean, the list goes on and on. Then we've got this going on, which is really intense, which is a great link if you want to read slate.com. This link gives you the full story about Donald Trump's nefarious involvement. You honestly live off the land? That is so cool. 936 says, Dave, I honestly live off the land. That is awesome, man. So the choice is between Hillary, as we call her, and the dumpster, who continually takes my ideas and acts like they're his own, are very, very prominent here. Clearly I'm biased because I want me to become president because I believe I can help, whereas these people are just talk. I've spelled out the ways in which I can truly improve this nation in a way that doesn't require Congress, like our mobile medical units, our homestead renewal plan, and of course our solar rooftop design, which will really spark up the economy. Legalizing pot's a good kicker too, will help our economy. So all these things I don't need Congress to implement. I can just start doing what I need to do to fix the country. And Obama can't do this because he is not an idea man. He's simply done whatever he's told. Well, make no mistake about it. He's a good government puppet. Well, I think her seizures are remarkable, but when you look at the 153 reasons Donald Trump has said and done make him unfit to be president, then you begin to wonder about Hillary's seizures. Parkinson's is something that she could have. I don't know. Maybe she doesn't want to be diagnosed with something. Maybe she's on levodopa. Maybe she's on some pretty intense medicine. Maybe they even shipped her and put a biometric chip in her head to control the seizures, and they're having problems with misfiring. Roger, we're going to check let's check we've got her under control here. Hang on. I'm patching you through to the cybernetic library. Hold, please. Okay. We got her under control now. Maybe it's just a random misfiring in her chip memory. Perhaps she should be redesigned at the laboratory that she was originally constructed at. Mr. Therio number 6, you're so sweet to come in here. Thank you. Mr. Therio 6 is one of our chatters over in the YouTube show. Mr. Anderson. You want me to do the Mr. Smith impersonation? We have links of the seizures. If you would like, I will go to the seizure link department. Hold, please. Whew. Yeah, I have a whole collection on Hillary. Let me go to my Clinton library. Takes me a while to get there sometimes. Yeah, drink green tea. They say that helps. Ginkgo biloba helps. You're worried about coming down with Alzheimer's? You guys can try some homeopathic remedies. Like, they say cumin helps. Cumin, of all things. You know, like that stuff that Mexican restaurants put on their food? I don't know. Maybe she's just been hitting the bong. Who knows? I don't know. Maybe she should hit the bong. Does Hillary smoke marijuana? Does anybody know? This is photoshopped. It's not real. Yeah, that was photoshopped. That doesn't count. Let me see if I can get you that link. Hang on.
Too much to say.
You know, I didn't bookmark the links last night. What do you have there?
Chauvinists and sexists and misogynists and chauvinists and sexists and misogynists and...
Oh, that's one, yeah. We'll let that queue up for a second.
Chauvinists and sexists.
Misogynist and chauvinist. Yeah, I'm waiting for this picture to open up that somebody sent a print screen of. I'm waiting for it. Hang on. Still happening. Dude, you're pretty messed up there. Yeah, you took a picture of yourself, multicolor hypester, and you created the ultimate non-identifiable picture. Multicolor HIVster has a picture of himself. Why not? You do a good impersonation of a candidate? I'm not impersonating a candidate. I'm an actual candidate running for president. I was one of the first people that actually put my name in the list in 2008 against Obama, and recently in the 2012 and 2016 election. I'm a write-in candidate, professionally speaking. I don't make money doing this, but I'm definitely a candidate. Okay, here's the Munich attack in a shopping mall. Thanks for coming into the extended show. I do a little extra time because a lot of people want to just talk. Who's the producer of that? That's really, really realistic. Yeah, they're getting better at the realism factor, don't you think?
And misogynists and chauvinists and sexists and misogynists and chauvinists and sexists and misogynists and chauvinists and sexists and misogynists and chauvinists and sexists, misogynists, chauvinists and sexists and misogynists.
It's got a catchy tune to it. Isn't that a good, sexy tune? Yeah. She's winning points all over the place. Let's get back to real Hillary. Okay, so you want to talk about that one article that Vanity Fair produced that said that Hillary was a robot? I do. Let me show you that. I want to bring it up because I don't want to lose it in memory here. Vanity Fair pulled up an interview with BuzzFeed, and it's not in my recorded history. That I have not looked at this in almost a month. Okay, so I have to actually do a search for this. Let's see if we can pull it up. The one issue that could destroy Hillary Clinton. This is from May 17th, 2016. Now this is a story that'll blow your mind. I'm sure the Donald stories are just as good. We could talk about him another night. But the one issue that could destroy Hillary Clinton is this particular story. No, that's not the article. Dang. Let's do robot. This should pull it up. Yeah, here it is. This should pull up the story. It was saved as a tiny URL. Good. Okay, good. Here we go. Hillary Clinton says, "I'm really not even a human being." Now, what if this shaking in her head is a result of the simple and disturbing reality that she may be wearing a chip, like the one that they put in Barack Obama's head, as evinced by the scar? That's an interesting theory. Yeah. It would explain why we're still at war and why we can't seem to end war, because these people who are doing the chip development actually have one thing on their mind. That's to use the chip to control and make every single one of these people dance for them. Everyone is a puppet and does a dance, does a little jig. So whenever they want them to move, they just, hit the button. You never know. So let's take a look at Barack Obama's head for a second. I'm going to show you definitive proof that Barack Obama has a massive scar on his head. I showed you a picture last night that was pretty convincing. I'm going to show you another one tonight. I know this is shocking. Many people are becoming very shocked by what I'm saying. Even Hillary. But here it is, in a nutshell. Maybe they put a chip in her head, because this is cutting edge science, that would prevent her from having any kind of a breakdown. Here is an analysis of the chip, the scars. These are the scars that are on his head, which doctors have noted. Even a neurosurgeon actually said these scars exist. They're noted and well defined on his head. So, say they did it to Barack Obama and they're trying to do it to Hillary Clinton. Have you heard of that theory? That would explain why we have no direction and strategy in our government, why we continue to start wars overseas and do the bidding of elitists, because they have one goal, and that is to control every single president as a puppet. It turns out the purse strings of war are in the hands of very, very evil and elite people that are hiding within the very secret organization we call the Exchange Stabilization Fund at the Treasury. This secret organization that only the president can oversee has a vested interest in picking who is going to be president, because that is the one organization within the Treasury, the Exchange Stabilization Fund, that actually oversees all the black market money, all counterfeit money, all kinds of underhanded underworld money that the government may be getting, like the CIA. So that's why they want to handpick whoever gets into the White House and maybe put a chip in their head and control their every move. It's just a theory. You may think it's true or not. I don't really care. Bobby, I've asked you not to post it here. Yeah, don't do that again. Nobody's mocking terrible violence here. Please don't say denigrating things about me, or I will post chat purge you. And everyone in the Munich Mall video was wearing ear protection. That's very interesting, very telling. Thank you, Scissor Fight. Hillary admits that USA CIA created Al-Qaeda and the enemies. Let's take a look at that. I did not see that earlier.
Is the United States supporting Al-Qaeda in Syria? The answer is yes.
Fact number one, there is no question that Al-Qaeda fighters are part of the opposition forces attempting to overthrow Syria's government. Fact number two.
Okay, we'll get to these facts right away. Okay, back to you in the chat. David looks like a constipated David Letterman when he dances. I've been told I'm a little stiff. And some people say, you're pretty stiff there. Yeah. I remember dancing in a club in Vegas. Hey, speaking of Vegas, hey, Uncle Lester. And I was dancing pretty stiff, and people were like looking down and going, whoa. Wow, he's a really stiff dancer. Yeah, very. Yeah. Almost like a wooden Indian. You know what a wooden Indian looks like? Let me take a look here. A wooden Indian. Surely you've seen a wooden Indian. My mother accused me of being a wooden Indian one time. It was very insulting. Yeah, that's how, this is how my mother described me. She just said, David, you seem like a wooden Indian. Loosen up. Well, the fact is I am related to the Algonquin tribe, so. And white men can't dance either, you're right. But here's the wooden Indian. Yes, Kimosabi. You know, I think the word Indian is inappropriate. Wooden Native American. This is how my mother characterized me one day. That's going in my book, by the way. So I don't blame you for criticizing me. You wouldn't be the first. Cigar store Indian, yeah. Hello, Kimosabi. Okay, David, last week at the flea market, I bought myself a Ming Dynasty bell. Whoa, what did you pay? I've seen Ming Dynasty stuff as low as $12.95 online, retail. $12.95. What did you pay for the Ming Dynasty bell? You can buy amazing heirlooms now on eBay. It's unbelievable. Yeah, the antique market is so bad that you could probably buy an artifact from prehistoric times for $5. Stay with me here. You know what the Ming Dynasty was all about, right? Have you read Pearl S. Buck's The Good Earth? The Ming Dynasty was about the rich people getting their ass kicked by the poor people in China. Great book. Read it twice. So when rich people push their will upon poor people, like in the Ming Dynasty, rich people get their ass kicked. Honest people begin to take shape and build a political resistance to the evil of the monetary elitists. Folks, you've been in here for as long as I've been in here, and it's been 4.5 hours. I want to thank you for coming in. We got a nighttime full of fun slated for you. Video and all kinds of good stuff. You just got here? Well, I support the decency and honesty that we have left in this country. Okay, we're going to give you the nuclear deception tonight. A guy I started the show off with who talked about how radiation wasn't as dangerous as you think. Some of you will get hope that maybe we'll survive a nuclear conflagration in our lifetime. Dick Cheney said that the likelihood of a nuclear war happening or a nuclear incident happening, he said, was 100%. Former vice president, I'm not real happy with him, but he said there was a 100% chance we'd have a nuclear incident on the planet in the near future. That was his parting words when he left in 2007. Since 2008, Obama has been proven to be a completely inane and inept president. Just as I said in 2008, he is a buffoon, a puppet of the New World Order. And we've got to stop these puppets like Hillary and Donald, who've now merged with the establishment. Donald met with Henry Kissinger 3 or 4 weeks ago. He solicited AIPAC money. We've got problems brewing in River City. Both sides are owned by the elitists, and we have only one chance to inspire people to build this third party with us and write my name in the upcoming election. Okay, we'll sign off tonight. Thanks for coming in. It's been a good conversation. We will be back again with Conspiracy Monday. I'm going to give you Galen Windsor 1, 2, and maybe 3. And then we'll get into a whole lot of other videos. This guy was the most unusual nuclear scientist we've ever had, and he lived to be 88 years old, and he swam in the plutonium water tanks that hold the spent fuel rods at Hanford Nuclear Waste Receptacle, or Depository. I didn't think that Kasich was running again, but thanks. That's kind of old news. Okay, good night, everybody. Thanks for coming in. No weather videos tonight. We won't have to look at those. They are kind of boring, I agree. And no Richie from Boston either. I kind of feel that he needs to grow up a little bit and realize that some of these people like Dabu7 are shills out there. Ronald Reagan for 2016. So get behind my campaign, folks. Nancy? Are you there? Thanks for coming in, everyone. Good night. Have a great Sunday and get some rest. We can't watch political shows every day, you know, even though this is addictive. Enjoy your day of rest. That
material that I just ate is material. You pour it out in the hand, and that's radioactive contamination. Is it radioactive? Yeah, it is. Very radioactive. Now, decontamination